This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO, what's up, everybody? The NASCAR season has concluded. It is all over, and Joey Logano is champion. We are back, going to recap it all, going to talk about it all, our big experience at Homestead Miami Speedway. It was great stuff, a great time. And we have an in-studio guest other than Giovanni in Miami. But first, Giovanni in Miami is back. Gio, welcome.
All right. I'm not a guest. I'm not like
That's not what I said. I said we have an in-studio guest other than Giovanni in Miami normally being here, sidekick of the show. But Dan Elliott of Elephant Racers is here. You still hung up on that? You still hung up on the co-host. Yes, Gio's the co-host, everybody. He's the co-host. But Elephant Racers is in the studio. What's up, Dan?
Yeah, thanks, Joe and Gio. The weather was so nice, I had to stay another day, and thank you for inviting me in for the show today.
Yes, how about that? You've come down now 3 years in a row. You are the listener that travels the furthest to take us up on the free tickets to Homestead Miami Speedway. And on this given occurrence, you are in town, so why not come in and allow us to goof off while you talk about the final race of the season. So you'll do that, and we will drink this gentleman Jack you have brought in. Thank you for that. I love the gifts.
Oh, well, you're welcome. You know, we had to have something to go along with me talking about the race. What? We didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah, why do you think you're here? You're here to do the majority of the work while we just kind of hang out.
You didn't get the show sheet?
Yeah, what happened?
I did not get the memo.
Yeah.
Dan,
I did not get the memo.
You're a very knowledgeable NASCAR fan. You've been to many races this year, certainly more than us. So we'll get the whole deal. Now, the first thing we are going to do, everybody, we've got a very tight show sheet. We're going to run show because we got to talk about our Fantasy League champion, Los Chingones. Fernando Loaiza has joined the Immortals on the trophy, holding off Craig and Newhall and Mr. Fantasy NASCAR. Of course, Gio finished somewhere in the top 20, somewhere. We'll talk about that, as did Dan, top 10. Congratulations. But most importantly, Joey Logano wins the championship. We talked about it on the show. I think we had felt the energy. We will play audio clips, or clip that is very important. The pre-race prediction. It all went down. But most importantly, a fun and exciting event. We all had a good time. Did you have a good time?
It was a fantastic time. You know, enjoying the race from many different locations over the weekend and finishing up in the pits as the race came to a conclusion. It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, you got to go. I forgot all about that. We did. We got Dan, and it would have been the case for everybody who took us up on the free tickets. And, Dan, you did. Down onto pit road. As the champion was crowned, you got to live the Joe and Gio experience. What you just did this past race was what we have done for the past 10,
20, no, not 20.
No, the 5 or 10 years.
10 years for sure.
On pit road.
Ever since the great insider was the PR person at Homestead Miami. So I think it was more than 10 years, but yes, I'd say at least 10 years.
I think I might have overpoured here. Maybe not.
I think you might have.
Now, did you notice that big ball of ice cube is the Death Star? Did you notice that?
You have to remember, I've seen no Star Wars movies.
Wow. That is a shocking
But I do get the reference.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, that's what the Death Star looks like, Dan.
You know,
it's a big ball.
Have all 9 movies been released yet?
Not the 9th.
No,
that's
what there's been more than 9 movies.
I'm waiting for the core 9 or whatever they call them.
Right, yeah.
And then I'll watch them all sequential 1 to 9.
I like that idea. No, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I think that might be a bad idea.
We can
get
4,
into the
5,
order of
6,
what?
1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. That's the way to do it.
Well, no, 1, 2. I guess theoretically, no. The Solo movie and the Hope movie, or not the Hope movie.
Well, if you wanted to watch them in the true order, then you would definitely do 1, 2, 3, and then the what's it called?
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, man.
If I remembered, I would have mentioned it.
I want to.
You're not bringing in these extra ones that they're now throwing out there,
Yes,
are you?
we were bringing them in, and that one goes in between 3 and 4.
Right.
And then there's 4, 5, 6. Solo's in there somewhere. That's like, 2.5. Bottom line, just do it in the order they were originally released, and you'll.
There
be
you go.
okay.
That's what we were.
Order they were
Originally released. Yes, yeah, that's the way we all did it. You got to do it the same way.
Right.
You don't get to any advantage.
That's why I'm waiting.
No,
I want to
no.
do 1 to 9.
Cheers. Here's to you. Thank you for bringing some Gentleman Jack into the WFO
Cheers.
studio.
Cheers.
Here's to all of us in a great season and a fun time.
Ooh, Rogue One.
Smooth. I
Rogue,
wanted
Rogue.
to keep saying Phantom Menace. That's what kept coming.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
I wanted to say A New Hope.
A New Hope. Interesting. So we're going to get into all of this. We have some great racing experiences and observations that we're going to talk about. But the racing season is over, though, and that is annoying. It's like, that's it. It's over. Thinking back, this was a great NASCAR season. I didn't get to enjoy as many races as I would have liked to because I was working on Sundays doing the NHRA thing. But thinking back, just a couple of races ago, Joey Logano moves Martin Truex at Martinsville to seize his opportunity. Isn't that exactly what we always
He gave him
want?
the bumper.
Exactly. To see he wanted it more at that moment. And because of that, now maybe he would have made it anyway on points we don't know. Things would have all been different. He would have had to race different, anything. Because of that, he got a berth into the championship 4, the Big 3 and me. If I'm going to say it this way, I would have to say the Big 3 and he. And he goes on and wins the race and becomes a champion, and the prophecy comes to pass, sliced bread, all of that proves to be true. He is a champion before 30 years old.
The prodigal son.
The prodigal son.
28 is that we figured out the other day? 28 he
Yes.
turned this year.
And the press conference is in the WFO archive.
The
and
wildly veteran now, 10 years strong.
I listened to the whole press conference. I don't always get to do that. We did the fan zone. We were in the fan zone. Dan was in the fan zone. Gio was in the fan zone. Everybody was working in the fan zone.
He
Put everybody to
literally
work.
got the full WFO experience.
You did. You got the full WFO experience, which would have been open to anybody that came with us. But Dan
It
came
was.
with us.
Yeah.
He's achieved a new level of WFO universe.
Well, just like his flight status and all those
He's
things,
got his status.
Dan has got to be the top status in WFO.
In fact, Dan, that is a great segue to your new WFO responsibility, creating the tiers of status. Since
that
you know
the new
about
tiers?
status, your diamond and executive and lifetime platinum black and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's got to be levels of status here at the WFO, layers. Maybe you can
All
give
right.
us your consult on that.
I'll put a program together. We'll put a little governance around it,
Yes.
and we'll take a look at it, okay?
There it is. We'll form a panel,
Yes.
an executive panel, to review the whole thing. All right, here are the results. Joey Logano takes the win, followed by Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch. The top 4 finish in the top 4, which is the first time that has ever happened. But that just goes to show you. I saw people complaining that there was no coverage of the back markers. Yeah, no
But what
coverage
for?
of the
Yeah,
back
I
markers.
saw that too, and my first thought was who cares?
If that's your beef, really, if that's your beef.
If you
just
want
wanna-
to see the back markers, come to the race and watch them yourself.
Exactly. I was observing some of the back markers. Now, I'm on TV. I want to see the back marker. How's Bowman the Showman doing? Sorry, this is the Super Bowl. Hey, maybe everybody else should just get off the racetrack then.
Or maybe some of those guys can do their job and race themselves up to the front, because while Kyle Larson was leading,
Yes.
they talked about him. While Denny Hamlin was up front, they talked about him. And while guys tried to get up in there, they talked about him. But the reality is that these 4 guys were basically in the top 5, 6, 7 spots the whole race.
The whole race, they're up front.
So why should you not talk about them when they are the story?
And let's go down to try and find out who's running 17th. Just not really
Through the field.
Through the field. No, we don't care at that point. At least I don't care. Joey Logano got into the car as a driver, but he got out as a champion. Let's hear what Joey had to say.
Man, it's incredible what goes through your mind and how it feels to be able to cross the start finish line. You're able to take the lead, and you know there's quite a few laps left. And as you get closer, 5 laps, 4 laps, you're counting them down. You're like, I just want to take the white flag to where the caution comes out. We got it, and it really felt a lot like my first win in Pocono, and kind of that same thing, because how big that first win was to me. And once you get that first win, your goal changes to winning a championship. And I remember those laps there, and my foot would shake on the way down to put the throttle down, and my foot kept shaking, and I started doing that again. I was like, oh my goodness, it's been so hard and such a long road to get here, and been so close, and had that feeling of defeat, and man, it stings. It hurts a lot, and the last thing you want is to have that feeling again. But yeah, I felt so confident going into this week that we were the car to beat. And I felt like, after winning Martinsville, it put us in the spot to really focus in on this race, and we did. We built a great race car, that was able to be good on the short runs. It wasn't a long run race car, that's for sure, but a 20-lap car, it was that for sure. And my race team, I wasn't worried about them at all, and I knew I just had to do my job, and everyone's going to do their job, and everything was going to be fine. Either way, everything was going to be fine, but I felt confident and relaxed that today was going to be a good day.
And it was. He got in the car as a driver, and he got out as a champion. You love that line, right? That's not my line.
I liked it. I did.
That's Joey.
That was Roy Firestone moment right there.
It was.
Well,
but Joey said that getting into the car. He was talking to his interior guy, and he kind of came up with a cool line, and it is so true. And he's a different person now. A day later, he's a different person. He was this kid that people were. If nothing else was learned by the course of the weekend, many, many people do not like Joey Logano. We found that out in the fan zone when I was doing my, who do you want to win? You want Kevin Harvick to win? I'd be like, yay. And Kyle Busch, you want to win? Yay. And Martin Truex Jr., do you want to win? It was like, and then Joey Logano, you had a lot of boos. A lot of boos. And I didn't understand it because I don't quite get it. Like, what? Why? Oh, he's a dirty driver. I don't get that. That's not the reality I'm living in. I feel like he's an aggressive driver. He has definitely, stuck his nose in there. Isn't that what we want? I thought that's what we wanted. But some people, I guess, when your drivers get in the bumper, you don't want that. You know who else people said that about? Earnhardt, Stewart, Waltrip, other greats. And now that Joey is a champion, along with those guys, and he gets to go into the champion's washroom, there's something to be said there. The kid got it done. He got it done. Here's the remainder of the results. Top four, the big three, and Joey Logano.
Here, before you get into that, I can confirm that this is the best finishing amongst the four in this is the 5th year.
What are you confirming?
That you are correct.
Let's get a confirmation from
finishing top 4 is indeed a record. Last year they came 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 7th, but that was the best up to that point.
Yes.
So I just wanted to throw a little
more history
there.
Another sold-out race, by the way. It was packed. Everybody was having a great time. And let me give the results, but let me give Dan a little forewarning. I'm going to ask you for your observations of the Homestead Miami Speedway crowd. You came down the past couple of years, but we never get to talk to you afterwards, maybe on the phone. But there was a big international crowd. We had a lot of folks from France.
That's right.
We had a lot of people from just everywhere.
I heard at least 6 or 7 different languages.
Absolutely.
Only in the fan zone spoken.
And they were geared up. They had their gear on, and you see, man, Martin Truex fans, how you guys doing?
Yeah, the Brazilians.
Lots of Brazilians. Brad Keselowski ends up finishing 5th, followed by Matt Kenseth 6th, Chase Elliott 7th, Clint Bowyer 8th, 9th, Eric Almirola. Penalty for lug nuts on Almirola's car after the race, but really, meaningless. Kurt Busch 10th, Austin Dillon 11th, Denny Hamlin 12th, Kyle Larson 13th. Kyle Larson running that high line for as long as it lasted. And that's the every year story.
I think that was predicted by the Final Four. They're like, one of us will win unless Kyle Larson doesn't wreck himself.
And he did. And Kyle Larson, but he wasn't dominating by any stretch of the imagination. Just having a good day. He did lead some laps. So, you know what? I'm going to take that back because he was second in the first stage and he was first in the second stage. So I'm taking that back.
He was running up front all day at a really fast car.
He had the long run.
Right. Yeah. He would run him down in the long run. But again, Kyle Larson, a little hard on the equipment in this track, and the inevitable happens. He smashes the wall at some point.
Well, what happens is the tires go away, and so if you can run that high line, you are going to be easier on the tires, and you can still get around the track but eventually you hit the wall, and that's what ended up happening. Jimmy Johnson, 14th. Ryan Newman, 15th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 16th. 17th. Ryan Blaney, 18th. Jamie McMurray, 19th. A.J. Allmendinger, 20th. David Reagan. Here's everybody else. Bubba Wallace, Ty Dillon, Chris Buescher, William Lord Byron, Paul Menard, Matt DiBenedetto, Eric Jones, Michael McDowell, Alex Bowman the Showman, Daniel Suarez, who was our guest in the fan zone. He was cool. Were you there for that?
Which year was this?
Yeah, well, he was in the Take Two. Last year he was supposed to be there, and he did not show. This year they got him back, and he did show. And he was very nice. That one lady, she started to cry. She was a huge Suarez fan, and she broke down into tears like she was witnessing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. It was crazy, and she had her hat and her shirt, and she was just so emotional about it. I started to get emotional that she got emotional. Like, wow, Daniel Suarez having an effect on this lady. Landon Castle, J.J. Yaley, Ross Chastain, Corey LaJoy, B.J. McLeod, Kyle Weatherman, Timmy Hill, Tanner Berryhill, of course, Tanner Berryhill, and Regan Smith, first out, 39th in the 20th annual Ford EcoBoost 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway. My 20th straight, as is Gio's 20th straight here at Homestead. That's kind of a nice streak that we got to the 20th straight mark.
Yeah, it's kind of nice they got to 20 straight years of racing down here.
Oh, yeah.
When no one would have predicted it when it first came down.
And sellouts, however many of the last 6 years or something. It was great stuff. Had a lot of fun. Kind of a partying crowd. So talking about the different languages and no more diverse race, I would imagine, on the NASCAR Tour. You've been to many.
I have been to many. This year made it to the first race in Daytona and made it to the last race. So that's a first time. So that was good.
You bookended the NASCAR season in Florida, by the way.
It was a pretty diverse crowd at Daytona as well, I will say. So comparable.
Well, really?
Which is interesting. The facilities at Homestead are still fantastic for how many years they've had the race here now. It's really nice. But you're right, the crowd, very much a party atmosphere. I know I saw some of the shots from the highlights, and it looked like there were some empty seats. All those people were there. They were out and about, milling around, watching the race. They have some screens on the outside of the track area.
Well, we watched the final pit stops. We were upstairs. Right, we were in the seats, the comp seats given to us by Homestead Miami Speedway for all of our listeners, and of course Dan took us up on it. It was fantastic, and we had just an amazing time, like probably the greatest time ever in the history of all of our lives at a race. And it's a shame that Rich and Saugus didn't get to come. But did you know that
Rich, Hinton, isn't he the one?
Yeah, and Tennessee Moneyman and so many others that just did not come down. But I understand. Rich and Saugus, his wife was in Miami. Yeah. It's for some other gal pal trip, something like that. And he's at home watching the dog or doing his thing.
Mr. Dad.
Oh, there's got to be a way to make that work.
Mr.
I
Mom.
know I would find a way.
Well, exactly. But I'm just really taunting and teasing him a little bit. But we did have a good time. But then we have this yearly tradition, which is to watch
the celebration.
The champion crown coronated, whatever, from the champion's pit. And so Gio, myself, Dan, Mrs. Gio, and the little guy, the gray, who had his own best day as a race fan.
What a day.
Best
that
day
little
ever
guy
for
had.
him.
Oh, yeah.
Best day ever. Best day ever. And I was just thinking about it all day. I got a video on my Instagram of him meeting Joey, which is going like gangbusters.
You put it up?
Yeah, like Ron Capps. It's a who's who of the NHRA community, loving the video of the little guy. But we went down and we are in the pit. We are in the pit. You guys were right there on the other side of the fence in the pit as well. Got to witness the crew and the celebration and the burnouts and just what a great tradition at Homestead Miami Speedway. That moment is so cool. And then just all the associated stuff and the monster girls and the fireworks and the confetti. I got confetti.
What was there confetti taken this year?
Yeah, we did after the fact.
All right.
I do think that they did go with the budget confetti here in 2018.
It was paper.
Yes.
It wasn't the
shiny, reflective
shiny
wasn't
plastic
foil paper. It was paper.
I hadn't thought about it till you said it right now. When you said
budget
the budget,
confetti.
I was like, it's not budget. It's more eco-friendly.
Biodegradable.
Biodegradable.
Maybe that's true. That's part of the
It's
green initiative.
The 2016 was Sprint still.
Yes.
And it was very shiny. And
Shiny,
it would
reflective.
frost
Shiny,
and-
reflective,
yes.
black
Yes.
and yellow, gold or whatever.
You know, I take it back. That was short-sighted by me. It is definitely part of the green initiative because that stuff is going to just turn into nothing immediately. And here in South Florida, the ecology, all that, right by the Keys, much better to have confetti that disintegrates
right by the nuclear power plant.
instantly. Right. There is a nuclear power plant down there. That is true.
Just west of
Watch out for those
of the
three-eyed
track,
fish.
actually.
But as opposed to the chrome metallic version. So it was a great race. So many great things. The what are you laughing about?
No, just
No,
the three-eyed fish right next to Turkey Point.
I don't know why it's perfectly safe.
Of course it is.
The nuclear power. It's perfectly safe. No big deal.
Hey, couldn't live without it down here.
No. I don't know what we would do. Solar? Not as much as nuclear power. That thing's been going for like 30 years, 40 years. It's fine. We're fine. Nobody worry about us. We're fine. But in the end, though, what was the determining factor? There were a couple of things that I think we talked about, throughout the day, and even on the show last week, and in the fan zone, which was the day-to-night transition. Right? Harvick said he had a daytime car, and he was great during the daytime. When nighttime came, not so much.
Well, and the race got pushed back an hour. So did that have an effect on how much further into the night they went and how the ending ended up taking place?
I think absolutely it did. I think that's a great point. And it got pushed up an hour and then pushed back an hour. Which there's a story behind the scenes to that, which I don't know just yet. But we had been giving information. This is when it's going to start, and here's when you need to be in your seats, and this is when the drawings are going to happen. And all that was wrong. It got changed. And everything got pushed back a little bit. Of course, it had something to do with television and TV.
No.
They rule everything. But the race did run a considerable amount under the lights, and that's when Joey was really at his strongest. And that big Kyle Busch staying out, catching a caution when Brad Keselowski and Daniel Suarez got together. Everyone restarts, and they just blew Kyle Busch's doors off. He said he had no grip, and Martin Truex Jr. was leading at that point, and Joey Logano flew by him in a way that was just indisputable. The championship pass. Joey Logano seizes his destiny, goes on, sliced bread, a champion now in the Cup Series. Roger Penske. How about Roger Penske? What a year. What didn't they win here this year? The Indy 500, the Southern 500, the Cup Series Championship. Big year for Roger Penske.
Surpassed win 500 in total for all of his series.
Oh, my goodness. And how many championships, Gio, did you say?
33.
30,
About 30, man.
33 championships. That's insane. That is insane. But great.
First
great
championship for Ford since Kurt Busch in 2004.
Little shocking right there, but not really if you think about it.
14 years, though.
Jimmy
Wow.
Johnson, 5 in a row and 7 right in there.
And Tony Stewart had 2.
There it is.
Front and back.
So Chevrolet, while not represented in the championship four, really can't be complaining too much.
Yeah.
First year of the new Camaro, everybody figuring it out. But Kurt Busch, Ford has been the big supporter. Ford Championship Weekend. It's very big for them to get a champion, and for Roger Penske and Joey Logano to bring it to them. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with the Fantasy League results. The Fantasy League Championship was decided. The Fantasy League champ, Los Chingones, our own Fernando Loaiza, who is somewhere in the status level in the WFO universe.
He's definitely up there, whatever
He's definitely
we'll
like
end up on.
Platinum Pro.
Yes.
He's somewhere in there, and we're going to talk about that. But we'll give you the final results of the WFO Radio Fantasy League and maybe even connect with our champion. Wouldn't that be great? He's got a lot of media responsibilities, of course, associated with the championship. He is unaware of the 2019 Fantasy League champion responsibilities that he will now have, potentially including the Fantasy Tippy.
Oh,
wow.
A change.
I think there's a change.
Okay.
Is this really going to happen?
I think it is important to unburden the dirty hippies. Unburden the dirty hippies of this responsibility. So he has more time to focus on the pick segment. You know, they're conflicting with one another. Rich is part of the pick segment. Speaking of which, Giovanni picked a winner.
Are you making excuses for Rich?
I'm trying to make things easy for him. That's what I always do. I try to make things easy for everybody. Make things easy, except for you.
Well, let's get back to this, what you were about to say, how I picked a winner, closed out the season, picking a winner for the show.
Time for break.
The important stuff. The show closed out strong.
Very strong.
4 winners in a row. We'll get into the Vegas picks, I guess, recap of how the season went.
Get into all of it. We're going to get into all of it. Plus the Sports Collision. Don't forget, everyone's favorite show within the show.
Now that you were recapping the race results, you do have to also mention how I brought home a winner for us so that we could close out the season strong.
I can't wait to hear the final results.
Yep.
I guess that'll happen later after this quick break here on WFO.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, how do you start your day? You started off with a little coffee. And do you want something cheap and vacuum-packed with garbage? Do you want to pay for a retail coffee? It's like $11. Or do you want something that is good, like RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com? Join the RoadAxe Army. WFO users and listeners know all about it. Over 40 grades to choose from. This is roasted fresh per your order, not to mention hot sauce, spice rub. You got to call Marvin, get on the phone line, or go to the website, RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com. Check it out. That's RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com.
Start your education at full speed with the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Accelerate your career as a high-performance engine builder with classroom instruction and practical hands-on experience in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. In addition to the blockhead and CNC programs, SAM now offers motorsport, EFI tuning, and an Associates of Applied Science degree. And SAM is a military-friendly school, approved to train veterans and other eligible persons under the GI Bill. Start your education at full speed. Go to samtech.edu today.
Hey, racers and race fans, I want to tell you about the motorsports guys. Terry McMillan from Elkhart, Indiana, has got a new venture, and we want you to hit the website at motorsportsguys.com. It's going to be a one-stop shop. They're going to have it all, but most importantly, oil, Amalie, better than it has to be since 1903, available at motorsportsguys.com. Check it out. Bookmark it, motorsportsguys.com. Terry McMillan stepping up as a supporter of WFO Radio. Check him out, motorsportsguys.com.
Subscribe to WFO Radio on iTunes. Never miss a show. And don't forget to write a review. WFO.
Now, back to WFO Radio Ignition.
First of all, the Joey Logano story. I am locked in on that. Now, you picked Joey to win the race, but I also think that Joey is going to win the championship also. I know I just picked Truex, but I just feel the energy around Joey. I feel like he has been out of the spotlight, off the radar, and very determined. There are some things that happened to Joey Logano in his little life and his little career that we're not really thinking about right now. But he is. And he got screwed out of a championship a couple years ago by Matt Kenseth, and he got screwed out of a championship a couple years ago by Carl Edwards. I feel like it was the same year. Maybe it wasn't. They all blur together. But the point is, this is it. One race to win the championship. It is such a cool opportunity. Joey, you want to be a champion? You want to be a NASCAR immortal? You want to live up to the hype? You want to do all that stuff? Yeah? All you got to do is win this race, man. And I think the kid's got what it takes. Now, his competition, very tough. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick. But I think Joey Logano can overcome that. And so I am watching for Joey Logano to become a first-time champion, beat the big three, and really become that immortal that we were talking about.
Wow, that would be something special, too. I'm sure
There it is, Giovanni, agreeing with my bold prediction that Joey Logano would win the championship. You heard it there, audio from last week's show. It's definitely in the archive for all to go back and listen to. I was locked in on that one.
What happened to the rest of that clip?
Oh, I don't know. It got cut off. Why? What did you say?
Oh, no, nothing.
What did you say?
Nothing.
But isn't that amazing? And that's why people listen to WFO, for insight like that. Bold predictions, a big analysis, going right against the grain. It's not my fault that you got to pick in front of me, man. Well, it really is, because I didn't pick good enough the previous week. But still, we felt the energy.
That was great.
Well, thank you very much.
Well,
it was on my
you were
fantasy
clairvoyant.
team.
I mean, you were like Quasimodo there.
Did you hear that analysis?
I did.
Dan, did you hear that analysis?
I heard it, and I saw the sleight of hand to make that analysis show up.
Yeah,
well.
It was fantastic. It was pretty funny. I'm playing audio from the show last week.
He got to see behind the...
I've heard it many times, and now I've seen it.
You can go back and listen to last week's Ignition show whenever you want and see exactly the statement of fact that I put out there for everyone and predicted the future for Joey Logano.
Hey, I did listen on the way down to the truck finale on Friday.
Yes.
So it was like moments after you put the show up.
Oh, well, we had a good time Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Brett Moffitt, no cautions, right? Tyler Reddick, Saturday, no cautions. And just 3 cautions on Sunday. 3, 4, 3? It's probably right here in these notes right here.
I think it was 3.
I gave you the race report.
Caution flags, 5 cautions for 26 laps.
Do they consider the
two stages?
Yes,
cautions?
stage
yeah,
1 conclusion, stage 2 conclusion.
Right. Then they were the other 3 weren't until the third and final stage.
Car 42 incident and car 2 and 19 incident. Those are your 5 cautions for the race.
There you go.
So that means that
and I don't know if they called it one before it started with Reagan Smith, but you know.
But well, it started as they were coming to take was that the first or second stage?
Which
right?
one?
When somebody was spinning out and they were about to call a caution, but it was the end of the stage, and the leader was taking the end of the stage, and so it wasn't really a caution. As one of those back markers was spinning out going onto pit road.
And he got down to pit road, and then he came off the pit road, yes.
Correct.
Exactly. But all in all. All right, before we go any further, we're going to get into the fantasy results. I want to mention the folks that make WFO Radio possible, like Hankstafers Laboratories and Hankstafers Metalworking Lubricants. If you're a listener and you're going to PRI, we're going to be giving the information out on the NHRA Nitro Show, the booth number and the time and when it's going to happen in the day. We're all going to be meeting up in the Hankstafers Metalworking Lubricants booth at PRI, and I would really love for as many WFO Radio listeners to come and overwhelm them as possible. Like I'm trying to create what the NHRA is creating at the 50th Annual Gator Nationals next year, Bedlam. Like a chaotic, oh my gosh, we have too many people here scene. So WFO Universe, just be ready. Hanks first, PRI. We're going to take over the joint. Aerospacecomponents.com, brakes, vacuum pumps, all that stuff, folks, at Aerospace Components, big here in 2018 on WFO. Motorsports guys been talking about Terry McMillan. They stepped up in a big way. Next time you need an oil change, Amalie oil, filters, parts, pieces, go to motorsportsguys.com. Samtech.edu. For all the young people out there, you're thinking, man, I would love to become a high-performance engine builder or EFI tuner or CNC machinist. They have programs for all of these things. Go to samtech.edu, and of course, you're going to tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. They like the video of Gray meeting Joey Logano at the end of the race. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a who's who of the NHRA crowd. Get your friend a pass or a gift certificate for the holidays to go on the Dragster Adventure in 2019. I think they will like you for it. It will definitely raise your status with them. RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Dan, have you had the Rodax? Are you a coffee guy?
Not a coffee guy.
You're not a coffee guy.
But I do need to take care of some people that are coffee people.
There it is, coffee people. The holiday packs, pound of coffee, hot sauce, spice rub. That was a good save, Dan. Excellent stuff. You're getting the hang of this deal.
I mean, he might be cut out for this radio business.
Yeah, we already put him to work on the status and the tiers of the WFO universe. CatSpotLitter.com, Scott Palmer. You can hear the people who helped the show. They're on board, Terry McMillan and Scott Palmer and others stepping up. If you've got a cat, get CatSpotLitter.com. If you don't have a cat, Magic Dry. You know, there is a listener that emailed that can't stand the meowing cat.
I know, that's why I thought of him
it's
right
now.
now.
It's like I can't stand the meowing cat. Sorry, sir. Sorry. But, you know, I feel like it makes it unique. people remember it. And HusseyPerformance.net, David Allen and the folks over there at Hussey Performance doing a great job for us here on WFO. All right, it is time now for the Fantasy League Championship. And the weekly winner, let's give the top 10, and then we'll speak with the champion. Black Falcons, 313. Day Racing, 21, 307. Aviator Racing, Great Season, 304. DRT Girl, 302. Car 24 Fan, 300. Team 12, Past Champ, 299. Pat the Webmaster. What's up, Patrick? Tied with Sacramento Racing Fan, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Beats 41, 298. Spider Monkey Racing, that's Gary Corbett, Grammy Award winner.
Gary! How are the dogs?
And JJ, the Husker Fan, tied for 9th and 10th. And
JJ in Nebraska. We know who that is.
Yeah. The most points, Black Falcons, 313. The biggest gainer, up 4 positions, Spider Monkey, Car 24 Fan, and JG24 LKB. Do you have championship music for when Lowe calls in? You should prepare for that. The biggest loser, Junior 2448.
I know.
Well, come up with
Does
something.
He deserve something like Colossus
you haven't
music
played
or
New York,
something?
New York. Yeah, the Colossus music would be fantastic. Go with that. But the overall winner, the guy who made it all happen, the guy who got the job done when, after several years of coming close and, what was it? Choked like a dog a couple of years ago. Terrible circumstances, situation. The guy who got the job done was Lowe by, I don't want to say a considerable amount, but 74 points over Craig and Newhall. Craig and Newhall, we have not heard from at all. We had 3 drivers, or 3 teams over 10,000 points. 10,092 for Lowe's Chingones. Going to put him on the trophy forever, because that trophy's going to be around a long time, right, Dan?
That trophy looks very nice.
Very substantial.
I am never touching it until my name is on it.
Yeah, what do you think? It's got like a 10,000-year half-life or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Lowe was just trying to call and something did not work. Just using
might not be meant for him to get his fanfare.
That's it. We tried. we tried, Lowe. It didn't work out. You know what happened? What happened, Lowe? It didn't work. But Mr. Fantasy NASCAR third, 77 points back. Gio in Miami, fourth, 120 back. Black Falcons, fifth, 148 back. Bug Barn, 6, 223 back. Day Racing, 21, 227 back. Elephant Racers, valiant effort, Dan.
Yeah, thanks.
242 back. 8th place.
I blame Denny Hamlin. He killed me last week or the week before.
Do you think that made a 242-point difference?
242 points exactly.
You would have been tied with Lowe. What if that happened?
What would be the tiebreaker? We've never discussed tiebreakers.
Never even thought of it. Never even thought of it one time.
Whoa.
Was that you?
No, it is not I.
Yeah, that's some sort of weird thing that's happening here.
I think it must be Low. Like I said, I don't think the.
Well, I think what's happening is
the
there's another update.
The fantasy gods don't want Lowe to call
No,
in.
he's on there right now. Joining us now, the 2018 WFO Radio Fantasy Champion, Fernando Loaiza of Los Chingones.
Wow.
Lowe, you have climbed the highest mountain. You have accomplished one of the greatest and most difficult things to accomplish in all the NASCAR world. You are the 2018 WFO Radio Fantasy League champion, and your name, Los Chingones, will be forever enshrined on the trophy. How do you feel?
I'm speechless, man. That just sounded great. Can you repeat that, all that again?
No, but you can go back and listen in the archive as many times as you want. And in fact, I recommend it.
It's definitely going to be replayed for a few times.
For your friends, for your family, Thanksgiving.
For Rudy?
For Rudy, the UPS guy. Oh, Rudy, the UPS guy.
Rudy?
I miss Rudy so much. Rudy, if you are listening to this, first of all, thank you so much for introducing your friend Lowe to our show. He has become a great part of it. He's got, wonderful family, wonderful person. But we miss you, Rudy. Where are you, bud?
Yeah, I actually saw Rudy at the race in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't take a picture. It was during the race. So actually, I think it was during the Xfinity race that we went to go say what's up to him. And, yeah, he's looking good, doing great. So he's still listening. He's just a busy guy.
If you don't have the proof, it didn't happen.
He too. I look up to him not only because he's taller, but he's a great person, great dad.
You mean literally
husband,
look up to him? I get it.
No, Rudy has been around for a long time, and he's a really nice man, good guy. Now, we have Dan Elliott, Elephant Racers, in the studio, though. In the studio.
Oh, wow.
So we have 3 people, top 10. You as the champion, 10,092. We have Gio in Miami, 9,972. And we have Elephant Racers, 9,850. 3 teams from the top 10 all on the air at the same time. Pretty amazing. Let's talk about the final team, though. I was listening to the Ignition show earlier today, and I kind of feel like you gave the wrong team. Did you deke us? Did you give I think he said different driver. There was a misdirection. That team that he called in with last week, it was all BS, man. That was all misdirection for the WFO
and,
audience.
It almost came and bit me in the posterior, if you will, because I was pooping bricks big time during that race. He had Jones running up top 5, top 10, and oh my God, I've never been more nervous watching the race.
Because you had some skin in the game.
Yeah, and it was like the misdirection, I think, was like you said, I hope it doesn't come back to bite you. So
well, you had Chris Buescher, though. That part was true.
Right. But the Kyle Busch, the Kevin Harvick, I had Joey all the way. That was my guy.
Misdirection.
So that's not the team that you tweeted was not actually it?
No.
Wow, what a guy.
Everything you read on the internet is not true.
It's definitely
Fake
not
news.
true.
That's rake news.
Wow.
But how about me picking up on it, though? You see, that's why I'm the host of the show, is because I pick up on those things after they've happened while I'm mowing the lawn earlier today. It's like, hey, man, that's not the team that he had. What's he doing? It was very good. So the nerves of the game, obviously you had, here's the team: Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, Chris Buescher. For those that are interested, the cars that were on the bench were Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, Daniel Suarez, and Bowman the Showman. So
having Kenseth would have been a better move.
The only place you could have really picked up was having Kenseth instead of Ryan Blaney.
Or Almirola. I was really going back and forth. I switched Kenseth. I switched him back and forth between him and Almirola. It's just the whole thing about this year in fantasy, or in years past too, where you have the chance to get a good team or finish in the top 10 after all is said and done, is getting, guys that are going to qualify decent, and then, or, try to get pole positions, but then at the same time, just know that you need 4 guys that are going to finish the race pretty damn good.
Wow, Lo, you're doing a really good job at giving insight into how to set your fantasy team. Perhaps this is something you should do more often in the 2019 season.
Well, if Mr. Hippie is not going to be able to do it, then well, it's not a bad idea.
All right, that's good. You're not
maybe
against.
That could be one of the new perks of being the champion.
Exactly.
We have this has been tossed about in previous years.
I like the idea.
Bantered
I
about.
like the idea.
It is a responsibility, though.
I mean, you got to consider what he just said is actually, if he won by 72 points over the course of 36 races, you're talking about two points a week is the difference.
And you beat a NASCAR Fantasy Hall of Famer in Mr. Fantasy NASCAR.
Wait. I beat 2 Hall of Famers.
Who's the other one? The Dirty Hippies? Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm not a fan
he's
of
he's not a fan.
I'm the first ever person to win the WFO title that has beaten 2 Hall of Famers.
That is true. That is interesting. Listen, I'm not going to take it away from you. I'm not going to argue.
And the Grammy Award winner.
It is true.
AG.
This is true. These are facts. These are facts. And that's why this is the most challenging league on the planet. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, you can't come in and dominate our league, man. This is the toughest league. You had to finish third.
Guy. Well,
he's obviously good. He's good.
No, when at the start of the year when you guys had him on, he never said he was going to join the league. Okay, he never said that. So I took it upon myself, stupid me, and I'm sorry to everybody, but I DM'd the guy on Twitter and I invited him. Hey, come on, I heard you on the show. It'd be fun for everybody to try to compete against the Fantasy Hall of Famer.
Yes, that's so true.
I felt the pressure when I think he had a real great spring portion of the season, and I was maybe in top 25, but I was on a decline, and I'm like, I can't let this happen. He was my motivation in a way.
Wow.
Besides Gio, because that was pretty damn cool.
The head-to-head with Gio. Gio had another great year, but you bested him. He was in the top 5 once again. Elephant Racers has uncovered the problem, though.
We're talking about 3 straight top 3s, not just top 5.
You?
Yeah.
You were
top 4.
Sorry,
Sorry, 3 straight top 4s.
3 straight top 4s.
3, 2, and 4. I went back. I was supposed to go up 1, not back 2.
Now 3 podiums in a row. That would have been something special.
Yeah. Well,
he's like the Joey Logano. He's due. He's going to be due next year.
But it's not going to happen, and we now know why. Dan came into the studio, and he saw the Fantasy League trophy. And what was the first thing you said, Dan?
I cannot touch that trophy. I'm going to treat it like the Stanley Cup.
He's going to treat it like the Stanley Cup. He's not going to touch the trophy until he gets to win it. And Gio has touched the trophy like thousands of times.
Well, I've had no choice. I had to move it around. I helped carry it in the house when it got here.
Yes,
I mean, there's been all kinds of...
No, I know.
That thing weighs like 75 pounds.
Yeah, no, it's an 80-pounder.
Look at that.
It's like 80.
I will take your word for it because I'm not lifting it to find out.
It's parts from Hendrick Motorsports, Penske, and Don Schumacher Racing. Those are all
actual race-used car parts.
Yes. That's what makes it so cool. Cold Hard Art, Tom Patsis making the trophy for us several years ago. And your name now, Lo, is going to go on the trophy.
And you might actually get it on there because we have filled another block.
3. No, we're going to do a
16,
whole
17, and 18.
We're going to do a whole video.
And by the way,
it's going to be great.
A plaque without the hippie's name. The hippie did not get himself on the plaque.
The first plaque that doesn't have the dirty hippie's name.
How about that hippie? And 3 straight years where I've defeated the hippie? No wonder he doesn't call in and do a tippy.
Wow.
His status has been...
That'll be a great video to put on the YouTube that links into the app that you taught me over the weekend.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
You'll be able to pull it right up from the app.
And people can see the video, the beating heart and the up-close shots of the trophy and of the plaques and of the names and all of that. We'll definitely have that up by 2022. Be ready for it. Just 4 short years from now.
For the Marlins to be good.
Just in time for the next plaque.
4 short years from now. In time for the next plaque. So, Lo, how did you do it, though? Like, you have a general strategy, but it's 2 years in a row now. You were really strong, right?
No, he was not strong last year.
Last year he was
Last
terrible?
year he sucked. I mean, it's easy to come out of nowhere and take a flyer 1 year.
Yeah.
But to be in the
Is
top
that what
4...
That's
consistency.
You can't give up. That's the thing. It's like I saw the decline right away. Like I said, I was maybe even top 35. I was on a real bad decline, and it's like it's still early. Even after spring, it's still early. You can make up ground if you just, I got lucky having like top four of my guys, in the top 5 as a starting team. Before the race starts, you got 16, 18 points, and then you kind of switch it up because just because they start good doesn't mean they're going to run good. So,
right.
Yeah, but then
to be fair,
though, it's luck too.
You say that you were in the 30-somethings, but I see here after the spring segment, you were actually only 15th.
Well, that's because toward the latter part of the spring, I was bad. I think I had a good last 2 weeks of the spring or something.
Okay, you started to turn it up because you did win the summer segment by 108 points over Craig and Newhall.
Wow, Craig and Newhall did a great job. We got to give. He was a runner-up here in 2018. And
first loser.
And by the way, the Bug Barn, Bug Barn had a great year, but like he told us, he ran out of allocations and he was running out of allocations. If you're not first, you're last. We know this. We're all racing fans here.
Yes, but come on, give Craig and Newhall a little
Craig,
credit.
call in and defend yourself,
did a
buddy.
Decent job here. All right, let's go down the rest of the results because there are other battles that have happened. Some of which involve Lowe and his youngins. So we Smothered and Covered was 9th. Uper won 10th. Those are both past champions. And I think those are the two that, like Smothered and Covered and Go Fast, Turn Left.
Correct. It's Go Fast, Turn Left. Uper's already up here.
Yeah.
He won in 2014.
Smothered and Covered, Go Fast, Turn Left, Los Chingones are going to be the names on the plaque.
Correct.
Right? Millerman, 11th. 12th, 85 Racing. Feel free to chime in whenever you want, Lo. 13th, you too, Dan. 13th, Highline Real Fine. 14th, Beer Reader Racing 81. 15th, Go Fast, Turn Left. Last year's champion, solid performance. Not a top 10, but solid. 415 points back. Aviator Racing, great year. Aviator Racing has been with us since season 1 of the WFO Radio Fantasy League. 17th, Easy E009.
Hold on. That's my brother, Ken.
Easy E009?
Yeah.
Easy
That's
is
your
his
brother,
name.
Ken?
Easy is his name, and boys coming straight out of Compton.
You want to do it, Gio, now?
Absolutely not.
Okay. What's your brother doing Easy E009?
Hey, you guys are saying things. I know you're referring to something, but I have no idea. I'm way too old.
What's Easy? Why did he do it? Why did he do it?
He's younger.
Okay, there it is. DR. It makes perfect sense.
He's younger than I am.
DRT Girl number 2, 18th. Stubo, Supergas Crew Chief, 19th. Mrs. Black Ice, 20th. Beats 41, 21st. 22nd, Black Ice. 23rd, that's Mike, Team 12. It's formerly Team 14. That's what it is on the trophy, but Team 12 is 23rd. Dirty Hippies, 24th. 605 points out of the lead. Dirty Hippies, 24th. What do we think? Fail, epic fail.
Washed up.
Well,
Yeah,
for
washed
the
up,
hippie, that's
washed
terrible.
up.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
like,
Wow.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who won in 08, 2010, 2012. He was 2013. He was
Washed
a back-to-back
up.
champion.
He claims, listen, let me defend Rich, because Rich is one of the nicest people on the planet and has done a whole lot for this show, and it is my obligation to defend him. Rich says he has been doing a lot of those race day score style fantasy, money,
Daily
monetary,
fantasy is
daily
what it's
fantasy
called.
games. Thank you very much. And that has taken the lion's share of his focus, and that the WFO Fantasy League is no longer his
Yeah, I've
primary
spoken
focus.
to the rich. It's not just a DFS. It's the
Children?
the online gambling.
Oh, really? It's online gambling, too? Well, it makes
no,
perfect
not
sense.
gambling, but the NASCAR gambling, the actual matchups and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
That we've discussed prior.
Well, hopefully the new title belt that can go around, maybe that can bring him back and focus.
Yeah, let's
could be
talk
an
about that.
inspiration.
Well, let me finish doing that, because that's an interesting sub-story. I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a little cocky of you, Lo. That was a little cocky. It has worked out for you, but I was very nervous. We'll talk about that momentarily. 25th, Brian Spink. 26th, Bulls Wool from Down Under. 27th, Patrick the Webmaster. 28th, Driving Hard. I'm giving them all because it's the final time. 29th, Willie B. Racing. 30th, I Can See Her Almirolas.
We know who that is.
Steve the Trucker.
Yes.
31st, Woodchuck. 32nd, Grammy Award winner Gary Corbett, Spider Monkey Racing. 33rd, Car 24 fan. 34th, Butt Sniffer Racing, and that's Little Low. Little Low successfully defeated Miss Little Low in their head-to-head. What does that mean, Low, in the household?
Oh, he's ready. He has a couple names for her for next year, and he wanted a piece of the belt too, just to rub it in her face. I'm like, you got to be the champ to get your hands on the belt. But he he definitely let her know that he beat her this year.
Well, he did. Well, she beat him, and she gave him a really a horrific name, Butt Sniffer Racing, which it's named after your cat. That's kind of
Right.
makes it softer and cuter, but it's still really rough, man.
Might as well name it Brown Nose.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so now next year he will get to name her, and she's down with this?
Yes, sir.
She's not going to walk
She's
away?
got no choice, man. What do you
Well,
mean
no,
she's down
because
with
she's a
this? No.
teenage girl. She could just say, I'm not into this anymore.
Sounds like there should be an order of cat spot litter on the way. somewhere.
Yes, there it should
absolutely.
be. Yes, the Lowe family hopefully uses catspotlitter.com. Junior 2448, 35th. Tom Inc., 36th. Northwest Nitro, 37th. Low Blinker Fluid, I think that's Mrs. Moneyman, 38th. DRT 99, 39th. The Tennessee Moneyman is 40th, past champion. He's on the trophy. 41st, Southern Racer X, 41st. 42nd, Team Gray. That's, Little Geo, Team Gray. Good job, first year, man. And you didn't want him to play, Gio. Remember when Gio was trying to keep his son off the league? Remember that?
Who got him to sign up?
It was me.
No, who signed him up? And who's the one that had to work harder? This is probably why I do not win, because I have to keep track of way too many other people.
You finished fourth.
I know.
You were only 120 out of the league. Don't blame the kid for your failure.
A minor miracle that I finished this well, considering all these.
What place were you in, Gio, with about 4 or 5 weeks to go?
Third. No.
Like a dog.
1 week. I had 1 week of stardom.
And what was the week that really killed you? What week sunk your battleship?
It was Byron. It was William Byron in that third. I could go back and look right now. If you,
and
if you
Dan,
really
what week sunk your battleship? You already said it was Phoenix, right? Like you felt like
Phoenix blew my chance to have a comeback. But there was a couple weeks before where Byron got me as well, before Gio, that really kind of torpedoed my chances.
There it is. Yeah, no, there's always 1 week. My week was the first week of the season, the Daytona 500. Yeah,
was there a 92-point week in there?
Yes,
somewhere,
I did have a 92-point week a couple weeks ago. But we have yet to get to my results. Team Gray, 42nd. DRT Girl, 43rd. New Hampshire Bucknut, 442, 44th. Sacramento Racing Fan, 45th. Fleetree, 46th. 47th, JG24LKB. 48th, Hockey Dad. Good job, Hockey Dad. 49th, WFO Joe, baby. Woo!
Top 50?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Dan. Top 50. And everybody knows that's what I was shooting for. I wanted to get into the top 50 of this league, and I did. And I just squeaked out Miss Little Low, beat her by 1 position, by 2 points, Low. Beat her by 2 points. But you know what? That's an inch and a mile. It's all the same. Didn't she have a thing? She wanted to beat me, and we were in competition this year, weren't we?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we were. Well, I am victorious.
Here's your chance to smack talk her.
Yeah, well, this is it. This is the smack talk. You know, listen, I respect the fact that the little people want to play the game, and she had a great year. Honestly, she did real well, better than in the past. But, you know, when you're dealing with the dealer and I'm holding all the cards, it's not going to work. You know, you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. There it is. So,
it was Martinsville that killed me. I pulled up the team right now.
And?
208 points.
Oh, my God, that's the difference.
I had Harvick over Logano. Logano won the race.
Big mistake.
Yep. I took Blaney and Boyer, and I could have had Elliott and Allmendinger, and they came in 7th and 14th instead of 20 and 21.
There it is.
And William Byron, 39th.
Ugh.
Instead of Bowman that week, who came in 17th. So that right there is the difference between winning and having my name on a trophy and being over here all bitter and thinking all the stuff that I'm thinking about.
What might have been. What might have been.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Wow, that's brutal. All right, Miss Little Low, 50th. Rich and Saugus, 51st. So I beat Rich and Saugus also. There you go. Didn't I say that a couple weeks ago, that my only goal was to beat Rich and Saugus?
Yep.
That sounds familiar.
Right?
Yes.
Right? I mean, I know I said that and changed it like 50 times just to confuse everybody, but that
the name that you wanted to be changed, but yeah, you said Rich and Saugus.
I definitely said Rich and Saugus. How about that, Rich? Huh? What do you think about that, Rich? Yeah. Took you down. 52nd, Miss J, 48. 53rd, Barbecue Bob. 54th, JJ the Husker fan. 55th, NHRA Nut. 56th, Hockey Kid. Down 7 in the final race. That's kind of a bummer for Hockey Kid. He had such a good season going, and then it just kind of like slipped away at the end. 57th, Race Guitar. Wow, Race Guitar. Terrible. Beat him up. Real bad. Vegas Rules, 58. El Jefe, 59th. Moonchild, 60th. Intimidator Harley, 61st. Then Mrs. Dirty Hippies, The Holy Dale, Born to be Wild, Catch Me. Brian in Louisiana, The Blur. Gage, 48. Jay Snyder, 23rd. Growl Guy, Tibby, 58. Again, None, 531. Is that what it is? A Ganian? And then Going for Broke.
Oh, come on. They never set teams. You can't say that.
Yeah, they never scored.
Yeah, they never scored once. They're only 10,092 points behind at the end of this season. Now, Lo, you are the first WFO Fantasy League champion to be adorned with a championship belt. Like champions, and, boxers, and et cetera. You are adorned with the championship belt. And the reason that Los Chingones is the first WFO Radio Fantasy League champion to have the honor of wearing the championship belt is because, Lo, you purchased the belt before you even won. Weren't you a little nervous about doing that? Wasn't that a little cocky of you?
But the intention was not necessarily on me. It's something that I've been, it's one of those ideas that you guys say that you think about or that's tossed around. Well, I just never really tossed it out there to you guys, but you guys have mentioned before about maybe perhaps rings, maybe perhaps this, maybe perhaps that. And I have reached out to certain companies and inquired what it might cost to get something like that, because not all of us could go, to get our hands on the trophy and take a picture with it and all that good stuff.
Dan, tell them how cool the trophy is.
The trophy is super cool.
There you go.
God,
it's like
dude,
you were
I can
here.
only imagine.
It's like you were here. But anyway,
I
continue.
can only imagine how,
Come pay a visit to it.
pictures I don't think do it justice.
The pilgrimage. Everyone's got to make the pilgrimage to see the trophy. But continue. So you decided to go out and spend your own money on a belt.
Yeah, I mean, it's not super expensive. It looks a lot better on pictures than what it costs. But my intention was to give it to the winner, whoever it may be, whether it was Meade, whether it was Gio, Dan, Bobby, whoever.
Mr. Fantasy NASCAR?
Yeah, I don't know. He's got enough trophies.
Yeah,
we'll probably push it off for another year if that was the case.
He was a foil for us this year, and I'm going to have him on the show in the coming weeks to just talk about it. I want to get his impression of the battle. I want to get he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Fantasy League Hall of Famer. I want to get his impression of the fantasy battle in the WFO League. He came close. He put in a valiant effort before he was defeated. And that's the thing. Were you feeling the pressure like that we were all putting upon you?
I don't know if I felt more pressure this time or that time where I came up as first loser. But like I said, I was really sweating it during this past race. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who led laps, who did not lead laps, what bonus points, were going to be awarded. So I just, until I saw it for sure, Gio texted me that you won. I'm like, I'm not going to, believe it until I see it. And, yeah, I mean, I could feel the pressure. The pressure of me buying the belt, though, that part of it was not. I just wanted it to look good for whoever won.
And so what's going to happen? You're going to wear the belt. You're going to take a photo. Like you've already taken a photo of yourself with the belt. I recommend you send that to us and let us tweet it out and include it in the website for forever. But when you give way to a new champion in 2019, or maybe you win it again, who knows? But what is your intention? To mail them the belt?
Yeah, and if they don't feel comfortable giving me their address or information, I'll pass it along to you guys. You guys can send it on over.
FedEx. No, he's UPS.
But Gio, don't touch it. You're going to jinx yourself even more.
Yes.
Well, I should not get it.
And so the belt is now a new part of it.
Belt.
Yeah.
It's the belt.
It's the belt, which is also cool because in the drag racing world, Steve Torrance went perfect, and they got him a belt. And so belts are now the thing, and we're in on that. We got a belt, he's got a belt, you got a belt, we all got belts. I'm wearing a belt. Well, Lo, that is great stuff. First of all, for the confidence to get the belt and the nice sentiment for whoever was the champ to have a belt.
To be fair, like you said, it wasn't confidence. He was getting it for whoever won.
Right. And he won. And he's wearing the belt.
Maybe it was karma since he went out and splurged for the belt.
Could have been karma.
He deserved it.
It could have been. So who's going to hold the belt behind you while you, talk smack?
I'm sorry?
You got to have somebody holding the belt up. That's the thing.
You got to have your Bobby the Brain, right?
Yes, yeah, your hype guys. Your hype guys, your entourage. As you enter wherever the facility is, you got to enter, and someone's got to be holding the belt. I was trying to tell Torrance's guys that.
I think I might come up with something involving Miss Little Low and Butt Sniffer.
There you go. Well, he's not called Butt Sniffer anymore.
No, you need. Oh, actually, if you want to do it right, you got to go all. Macho Man on us. You got to get Mrs. Lowe to be right, like
Elizabeth,
like Miss Elizabeth. There you go.
Like
the lovely Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Anyway, I like the idea, and I think that's a good idea. So let's make that happen. As Mrs. Lowe as Miss Elizabeth, and she'll hold the belt for Lowe. That all of a sudden, an idea everybody can get behind. That is great stuff. Well, there you go, Lo. Congratulations. It's over. The battle has been won. You are now the Fantasy League champion in the WFO League. At some point during the offseason, we will acquire the new plate. It will go on there, and the past 3 years champions will all celebrate as they are permanently enshrined on the WFO Championship trophy.
Sounds great, man.
Oh,
that sounds
amazing.
great. Just thank you to everybody, too, for their support, and congratulatory messages or, tweets. And just, it's cool. It's a real cool feeling. I hope everybody gets a chance to do it because it really, we all do that. We all do the fantasy thing. We know how stressful it could be, how the ups are great and the downs are miserable. But, fight through the lows and, just all the way. Go WFO to the end, and you never know.
There you go. Lo, congratulations. And as champion, I'm going to give you a moment to just give us your thoughts on Joey Logano, the 2018 champion. Along with you, you guys will forever be connected as champions of the 2018 season.
Well, I got to say, Joey, thank you for bringing it home on that last race. You really solidified my beliefs in you, and I knew that when you were named Sliced Bread, that eventually you would become just that. And so now I might go have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And, I don't know. I'm kind of hungry. I just got off of work.
Oh, there it is.
But,
you just
jelly. Come on, man. Winners deserve like a big steak, man.
Is it difficult to be a
champion?
champion?
Sliced bread. I don't know. I was thinking bread and sandwich.
Is it
peanut butter and jelly
difficult
sounds good right now
to be a champion, and yet you're a champion in a universe that none of your peers really understand or know about, other than Rudy the UPS guy? Like, think about that, right? Like, this guy is walking around and he's greatness, except he's delivering packages to people, and they don't understand that the guy that just delivered the package
is a champion.
Is a champion who just accomplished some sort of great. If they only knew. Exactly. That's got to be difficult.
It is, but it's humbling at the same time.
Look at Joe walks around a Hall of Famer, and nobody knows what. It's not like when we run into Hall of Famer, insert name.
Yeah.
Somewhere, like at the track.
No, this is a good point, Gio. I think I'm going to have to get a belt as well.
You have to wear the belt all the time.
You have to wear the belt.
That's what it is.
All the time.
You got to pay for that one, Joe.
All the time.
Wear the belt. Wear the belt. All right, Lo, thank you so much. Congratulations. It was a fun year. You did great. All joking aside, this is a very challenging thing. And to go on and do it and win and beat a Fantasy Hall of Famer and a Grammy Award winner and Gio in Miami and the Dirty Hippies, the only 4-time champion, along with all the other champions trying to get on there multiple times. That is a heck of accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And Dan, safe travels back home. G, just all you guys. I wish you guys a great, happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, and looking forward to the off season with you guys. And
Lo, you getting nervous about the hot stove coming up?
Oh God. Really, you guys?
Yeah, man, we made the deal. That's
a 30-year-old pitcher who had one lucky season.
We made the deal that's going to turn the tide, man. It's going to turn the tide. That's it.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah, the time of the Red Sox is over.
I've conspired to have
Silver Slugger awards coming for the team that hit the most home runs this year. How many Silver Sluggers did you guys get?
Look,
we
man,
don't care about that.
We don't care about that
You've
stuff.
probably got the Rookie of the Year, though, right? With Andujar and
did the Big
Glaber?
Three hit? Was it 100?
What about
No,
Manager
it
of
was
the Year?
under.
You guys won 100 games.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
we won 100
did win
games.
100 games.
Manager of the Year? No?
No, did you have Manager of the Year? No, because you didn't have that either. And to be fair, I think the real Manager of the Year was probably the manager of the Tampa Bay
Honestly,
Rays.
I think you guys are wasting your time right now with all of this. Lo, you won the World Series. That's the
You
only
did.
award that matters.
Congratulations.
All that
But
other
we're
stuff
sick
is
of
nonsense.
watching your team win 2 World Series since we won our last one. And I'm telling you, I've got my ear to the ground, and my contact in New York told me that the payroll will not be below the tax threshold this year. That we're talking about possibly reaching heights never seen before. And we're going to show people why there's only one New York Yankee.
This battle station is fully operational.
I got to tell you, man, I got a feeling that payroll could be close to $300 million.
$400 million. We're going to buy everything.
I can see them spending about $800 to $900 million in free agents over the next few weeks, and you guys are going to be. Let's just see.
You're going to
Anyway,
suffocate.
it's gonna be that much better when you guys fail again.
Nah, not going to happen. Not going to happen.
All right, guys. It's Lowe's year. You got to let him have it.
No,
just let him have it. It's not the end of the year. You got to.
No,
let
they
him
won't.
gloat.
What are you
Let him
talking
gloat
about?
a little longer. He's
Dan,
doing
what are
it.
you?
It's his year.
Excuse me. What are you talking about? This is us letting him have it.
Yeah,
this is us being. We're being gracious right now. What do you mean? This is it.
You know what? Actually, Lo,
We're
we'll
being
do
gracious.
a quick sports collision segment while you're here. What do you believe that Mookie Betts is the MVP of your team?
Of the team, no.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I gotta say.
JD Martinez.
JD Martinez is the MVP.
Of the team.
And in reality, JD Martinez is the MVP of the league because you guys had the same team that won the division and lost. What, did you guys get swept by the Houston Astros, if I recall correctly, or maybe won a game? And then you add this guy, and now you're a record historic 108-win team, wins the World Series, and really, I think Martinez just made everybody so much better. And
He did.
And
Indeed,
while
that's
I
why
know,
I'm saying MVP for the team.
yeah, I know. I got into a discussion with the baseball nerd at work who I just feel like, what is it? Is he the best player or is he the MVP? And while Mookie Betts is a better player, to me the MVP is Martinez, even of the league. But
see, look at that. Yankee
nerds
fan
see
giving
it different.
respect. Giving respect. Respect with a 2 backwards.
Yeah.
All right, Lo. Good job. Good job. Good job.
All right, you guys. Take it easy, okay?
No,
Say hi to
good
the
hearing
fan.
from you, man, and congratulations again, man.
Yes,
You deserved it.
congratulations.
Say hi to the fan.
Thank you, guys.
There he goes.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
He is the 2018 Fantasy League champion, Los Chingones. Great guy, wonderful person. And I got to hang out with them earlier this year. Went down to Phoenix for the NHRA. They came out to the race, went out to dinner. I think that was kind of the mojo that really started the championship run. I think that was
got
a
to
positive.
hang out with a Hall of
You got
Famer.
to
That
hang-
must have been it.
No, I was just a normal person, at that time. Get in a driver, get out a champion.
Oh, you were a regular civilian.
I was a regular civilian at that time. I didn't realize how great this Hall of Fame thing was going to be when it happened.
You didn't know how you could play this.
No,
huh?
this happens all the time, and it's not me who's doing it, which is the best part. It's all the people around me saying this. You guys aren't the only ones. I love you for it. But it's actually turning into quite the thing.
Well, because it's a bit, it's a funny.
Campy, it totally
Have you tried
is.
that to jump the line at the restaurants yet?
No. Just jump the line
I
anyway.
am a Hall of Famer. You need to put me ahead.
No, what I say is I'm escorting my guests. That is my move.
That does work.
Yeah, it clearly does.
That is a good move.
Speaking of which,
wasn't it?
Big shout out to Ken. Ken, WFO listener out there, ran into Ken at the track.
Yes.
And
Mrs.
William, WFO listener, that scared the bejesus out of me in the pits.
Does William listen to WFO?
Well, WFO listener William. All I know is that I'm walking around and some dude grabs me. He's like, "You're with WFO," and I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yes. Now there were a lot of
And
people.
he's like, "Don't you remember me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure I do."
You didn't remember William.
Well, the face looked
I
vaguely
couldn't recognize
familiar.
him either.
Vaguely familiar, but he recognized me obviously, and so I felt compelled to say yeah. And then I'm like, "Look, man, you look familiar, but I don't know who you are." He's like, "It's me, William," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But nonetheless, shout out to all and Donna and all the other WFO fans that were out there yelling at us and hanging out with us over the weekend.
No, it's cool to know that people actually listen. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I know.
It really is.
I thought it was just us three.
Yeah,
No.
everybody listens, right?
Yeah,
As
everybody.
far as I know.
Speaking, it's humbled. It's we're humbled by it. But Dan, you're part of the audience, and you know everybody, and you connected with all these listeners like Rich and Saugus and others. And there's like a group, Kathy and Lo, and there's a group of people who have been here. But I think who has been in the studio, Gio? Who has been in the studio?
Who's at the studio
Moneyman
level?
has been in the studio.
Moneyman
has been in the studio. Rich York has been to the studio,
You
not
know,
on
to
the
be
air.
fair, there, you
yeah,
know.
but right. Like Rich is
We knew them
former
prior to
coworker.
the show.
Right. Moneyman is through the show. But who else? That's it. L.A. Vlad has been in. Vlad's
Yeah, that
long
doesn't
time friend. Oh, that's it. This
Again.
is you're in rare territory, Dan. Rare territory right now.
I mean,
this is amazing.
Was
you're executive platinum.
Executive platinum.
Platinum executive diamond.
Black executive.
Carvel's been on the show. In
You're
the studio.
James Carville has been right where you have
James
sat.
Carville.
You're sitting right where James Carville
Wow.
sat.
Yeah,
The
he
most-
did his show from here.
The most famous person to ever be at the WFO studio.
I've heard that in the past.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about
Yep.
that at one time. Yes.
He told me, he looked at me, he said, "It's the economy, stupid." And I was like, huh.
It is the economy.
It is the economy.
Todd Smith has
Todd
been
Smith
in the
has
studio.
been, and will be again. incidentally. He's excited about coming in. Daryl Gwynn wants to come in, so we got some cool stuff going on. All right, so what I think we should do is take one more quick break, come back, Sports Collision it up, tie it all together, and then get up on out of here.
Sounds
as
good.
we are getting ready for the Thanksgiving celebration. And I'm going to go racing myself. That is at least the plan out at Palm Beach International Raceway for the Citrus Nationals. They used my car in an ad, which was kind of surprising and cool. Did you see that, Gio?
Yeah.
That was very neat, and I was surprised. There it is. Look at that, Dan. Did you see that?
That is a nice-looking car.
That is my race car. My dad bought that brand new, and I raced it and, won a track championship with it. And now we're going to try to bring it back out. And last year we had all those troubles just getting to the racetrack. Hopefully things will go.
Do we have tires in order?
They have like 200 miles on them.
Well,
I know.
How many miles did the tires before that have on them?
Like 200 miles. But they were 200 miles with like 5 years of age. These are 200 miles with now
1 year.
1 year of age.
1 year.
Yeah,
Okay.
under 1 year.
There's a formula in there.
And
We
they have
just need to
only
figure
been
that out.
they have only been on the ground. They've been off the ground too. We've had them elevated.
Do they need to be hermetically sealed? or
I
something?
don't know. They need something. Well, I hope to make it to the track. That is just goal number one. But I thought it was nice for PBIR.
Without any incidents, you mean?
Make it to the track without any incidents. Yes. But I thought it was very nice. The 37th annual Citrus Nationals at Palm Beach International Raceway. I don't know why I'm doing a spot, but I will be there racing myself. That is my intention at least. And if you're there Saturday and Sunday, you should come on out. Now, I think Giovanni is going to come on Sunday. He might not know that, but that's what I heard.
No, I knew.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah, I knew.
But it's a timing pattern. Like, it's maybe not going to happen.
It might
Because
not.
you're going to be coming from north to south.
Yes, I am.
Because you're going to be spending time with the mouse.
Yes.
You're going to spend Thanksgiving with the mouse?
No,
or day
I'll
after?
be home. I'll be home on Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right. But on your way back, you're going to stop at the track. And,
Possibly,
the kid will get to see, hopefully, Uncle Joe go on and win a race, and I'm going to autograph him just like Joey Logano.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you become the champion.
I'm going to
You
put
mean
in.
he would be autographed by a Hall of Famer?
Exactly. That's right. Got a NASCAR champion 1 week and a Hall of Famer the next. All right, we'll be back after this. I do want to say to all the Patreons out there, expect some cool special edition coverage featuring Dan of Elephant Racers real soon on Patreon, WFO's Patreon page, where you hear special content. We'll be back after this.
Hey everybody, this is Joe Castello. When I'm at the racetrack, I am always checking out the cars to see what's hot, what's cool, what is...
Everybody, listen carefully.
Now you listen to me.
Why do you listen?
WFO, you guys are number one.
Honest. Listen.
Hey everybody, this is Joe Castello. When I'm at the racetrack, I am always checking out the cars to see what's hot, what's cool, what is the nicest and best and most effective piece out there. And what I am finding is that the folks at Aerospace Components have got it going on. They've been in business for over 30 years. Everything is made in America, and they are family-owned and operated. Aerospace Components is a name known throughout the racing industry as one of the leaders in manufacturing high-performance drag racing products. Their Tampa Bay area facility is equipped with state-of-the-art CNC machining centers and inspection equipment. You got to get it right. They get it right. They have racers all over the country that run their brakes, shifters, vacuum pumps, water pumps. They do so many different things. And if you go to their website right now, Aerospace Components, you can check out exactly what I'm talking about. And if you want your front brake calipers in pink or aqua or green, they can do that too. Check it out. That's aerospacecomponents.com. Check out the website and let them know you heard it on WFO.
WFO Radio is brought to you in part by Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure at frankhawley.com.
Catspotlitter.com. Got to check them out. And of course, think about getting a cat. There's so many little kitties out there that need a home. They need a home. But it's the litter. No, now you've got catspotlitter.com. So check it out. Cat Spot Litter, new supporter of WFO Radio.
WFO Radio is brought to you in part by Extreme Velocity 3 Drag Racing. Download for your mobile device. Win your way on the show. WFO.
Hussey Performance Copperhead Gaskets. You got to call David directly. 724-318-8292. Hussey Performance Copperhead Gaskets for you engine builders out there. These guys are supporting WFO. Check them out. It is husseyperformance.net.
Hey man, WFO.
I'm not rolling with that.
WFO.
What's wrong with you?
WFO.
This is what you do with your spare time.
WFO.
Y'all consistently keep bringing that back up.
It's wide open, man.
If y'all can't see that, y'all crazy.
Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. And so Elephant Racer's just like, dude, don't forget, we got to talk Formula One. He's right. We got to talk Formula One. Final race. Got to talk about it. Final race. Abu Dhabi. Right? Final race.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi.
How is Haas going to do in Abu Dhabi?
Oh, man. I feel like, I don't want to say they can't lose the 5th position because I guess
they can technically.
They can technically, but they probably won't. They probably won't.
What will the appeal of the race be on this one?
Right. Illegal stickers. Haas F1. I don't know.
The stickers are too thick?
The stickers.
Too thin?
They're winning too much. That's it.
They're
just going to bust out with that.
You know, I wore my my Haas shirt to, I don't know, somewhere at the Auto Club Finals. You know, I was there for like 7 or 8 days, and so one day I was rocking my Haas F1 gear, and I was blown away at how many people were knowledgeable and interested and thought like it was the coolest thing ever that I was rocking Haas gear. John Oberhofer. Oh, I love Formula One. I love Haas. Wow, how'd you get that shirt? Wow, that's so cool. Like it was a big deal. Like the racers love Formula One. Maybe, the average fan doesn't quite get it, and that's what we do. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I was rocking the Haas gear. Let me bring up Formula One stuff, and then Gio will have Sports Collision and any other points or thoughts. Stan, feel free to just jump in now. Towards the end of the show, in case you don't know, as we descend
Stan's
down.
supposed to give us his
what?
Recap of
what?
Homestead versus other tracks and what he thought of
this
Homestead.
is it kind of, you've heard the show. It kind of slides downwards toward the end. Right? You've heard it. And it's your fault because you brought the gentleman Jack in. We're halfway through this bottle.
Wow.
It is my fault. Awesome.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's just a 5th. It's not like, a
1.75. One thing about Homestead I will say that I enjoy watching, and it showed in especially the Xfinity race, was the tire wear and the drop-off per lap.
Big time.
So, if it's starting to feel a little bit like Rockingham and Darlington when it comes to that. And the strategy, Kyle Busch played a little strategy. It worked out for him, gave him a shot. So, some of that.
Right, and there it worked out that the strategy was the cars that ended up pitting early were the ones that got out front. And
in the Xfinity race, it kind of cost Custer.
It actually did.
Yeah.
It really did, and he never recovered.
Certainly the TV guys, we were listening to them, and they were really harping on that he needs to come in, and then he came up and caught him, and then he was done. For whatever reason, he could not pass him, and then he just faded back.
Interesting.
And I think our geographical location plays a lot into that. That track gets beat down by the sun. I'm sure as you've been out on the track, you've seen it.
Out there.
It's really very sandpapery, the asphalt down there. And
did you get to walk out on the track?
I did.
Yeah, it is very abrasive. I think the salt air, I think everything has something to do with it. The sun just destroys
the fact
it.
that it's 90 degrees and sunny on November 20th or whatever it is today.
And it gets rained on all the time, and then the sun bakes on it. There's just so much. But it's perfect. It's great that that one lap that Kevin Harvick came in 1 lap early. He gained 3 seconds.
And another interesting thing with the Cup race was it was about 5 to 7 degrees hotter all day Sunday than it was Saturday.
Correct, because Saturday was overcast.
Yeah, Saturday was a lot more overcast as well as Friday was pretty much all run at night. So,
the race didn't start until 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so it was
they almost qualified even in the dark, too, I believe. Which is one of those weird – I guess that's where they're going to end up, so it's not terrible, but –
So, that was some of the differences I observed between the 3 races is, seeing the characteristics and the people that could run the high line. I think Joe made a good point. As it gets later and later into the run, the tires are giving up. They don't stay up there. And then, in Xfinity, Reddick hit the wall, and he still won with the composite body. when it came to the NASCAR Kyle Larson move, hitting the wall, which he has done a couple times in the past.
Yes.
It doesn't work out so well with the non-composite metal body.
Absolutely.
And that is something that I understand will be changing for next year. Composite bodies.
There are a lot of changes. I think we'll leave that to the off-season shows, right?
Yes, so much so. Now, what I'm looking, with Tyler Reddick, Junior Motorsports, picking up the win. All the races were good. Brett Moffitt winning for like a very small team in the Camping World Truck Series, like Hattori Racing. I got to find
wasn't Hattori? Did he race IndyCar?
Yes, and that's what they have, like 6 guys or something.
You
on
guys
the team.
would know. I thought I heard that he had won an Indy Lights race at Homestead at some time in his past. Do you guys recall that?
I don't recall, but I recall reading the story that said that.
Okay.
Yes. And to me, that is just great stuff. Like, that's what we want. And before the show, I was watching NASCAR America, and Jeff Burton had made the point about getting the Cup Series drivers out of the Xfinity Series. And he was saying that he was against taking the Cup Series drivers out of the Xfinity Series, but it has turned out to be a really good thing because these Xfinity drivers are able to race against each other. Now, thinking about all of it after the fact, for many years we were advocating for removing the Cup drivers from Xfinity Racing. And I will tell you, I haven't watched, and we certainly don't talk about the Xfinity Series on a regular basis because we have a limited amount of time. We're not doing 5 days a week and all of that. But I think it has been a great success because there are more rides. And so there's more young drivers getting more opportunity. Those 8 to 10 Cup-level rides that were filled by Cup drivers are now with Xfinity drivers who are getting to show their stuff. I think it's much better for the sport.
I agree. I hope financially it's not hurt them because I know that's what the argument always was they brought the money in and allowed the teams to have other drivers with other cars. But it seems like it's been successful the last couple of years when they've done it. And, it appears as though the guys that need to get the exposure are getting it in the playoffs now.
Right. And it worked out great. The idea that in every race for the championship contenders are up there running. And that brings me to another point. Like, when is this streak? Like, this is an amazing streak that NASCAR comes up with this 4 for the championship, final race, Super Bowl style thing that happens at the end of the year. And every year, I guess it's 5 years now?
Yes, sir.
Every year, the winner has come out of the championship 4 and won the championship. Like, you win the race to win the championship. At some point, that is not going to happen. It almost defies, in many ways, like no one else can get up there and race with these guys. But that's the case. That's the case. The champion is coming out of this.
Seems like they bring their best stuff to those races, and, you guys have said it for a long time. It was, when it was Chase drivers win Chase races. Now it's playoff drivers win playoff races. And, for the most part, that's been the way it is, and especially in the finale.
Yeah, and they're putting a lot of effort into it. We heard that, Joey Logano's team, as soon as they won in Martinsville, they immediately went to work on Homestead, and everybody is constantly working on Homestead, and it's just a different level of focus. But you would think that someone would spoil the run at some point. Okay, it's Hattori Racing Enterprises, and Brett Moffitt drives for them. He's a Hattori Racing Enterprises, Japanese-American professional stock car racing team, currently competes in Camping World Truck Series. Team is owned by former NASCAR NASCAR and open-wheel driver Shigege Hattori. Did I say that right? Shigeki.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm not up to my Japanese names.
Shigeki Hattori.
Correct pronunciation.
Also called
but I do know
Shige Hattori.
I
competed in kart, Indy Series, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
He won an Indy Lights race at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Okay, so I did hear that correct.
Is that so, Gio?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
No way.
Not only that, he scored his first career Indy Lights win in the 1996 season opener at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah. How about that?
1996. Wow. That was a few years ago.
Yeah, just the other day.
But hey, like, that's great. Congratulations to those guys winning the Camping World Truck Series. I really think that is the best-kept secret of the whole weekend because it's so cool, literally, temperature-wise. It's out there. You're at night. You're under the lights. There's not a lot of people there.
Hour and a half, and we were out of there.
For those people that do watch those races, those are some of the most exciting races to watch. The trucks, I don't know if it's the aero package or what it is, but they really
the trucks have always been exciting.
Yeah,
ever since they were back in the Craftsman truck days.
If it's a sense of urgency because it's a shorter race, whatever all those factors are, they really put on a good show, and you're surprised more people don't watch.
Yeah, well, now that there's no Speed Channel running them all, and like there was one spot where everybody would tune in. I don't know what my excuse is. I think that's because I'm not around. I'm over doing the NHRA working thing when most of these things are happening. I can tell you, I haven't watched a Camping World Truck Series race start to finish. It's been a while. That one this past weekend, I had a great time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
a lot of great battling.
I thought it was fun. It was
it's
great.
Certainly a lot of Friday night or the
Thursday
occasional
nights, even
Thursday or Saturday. Certainly the dirt race is usually in the middle of the week somewhere.
Wednesday, I believe, but yeah.
But they do get some exposure, and a lot of those guys, they bubble up into the Cup Series eventually.
Here is your
historically, absolutely.
Yep.
Haas F1 report for the Yas Marina circuit, which is a 3.451 mile race lap distance, 55 laps, 305 kilometers, 189 miles is the race distance. That seems so short. 29 points in 2016, 47 points in 2017, 90 points in 2018, and there's still one race to go. That is Haas F1 team's trajectory since becoming the first American team in 30 years to join the FIA Formula One World Championship. As the curtain gets set to drop on the 2018 with the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix November 25th at the Yas Marina Circuit, Haas F1 team will close out the best year in its still young history regardless of the outcome of the 55-lap race. The third-year team trails fourth-place Renault by 24 points.
Well, that's not exactly accurate. I think if one of those guys happens to come up and win the race or come in second, they might beat Haas. But
holds a 28-point advantage over sixth-place McLaren. After back-to-back eighth-place finishes in the 2016-2017 constructor standings, the 2018 has proven to be Haas F1 team's coming-out party with the scrappy squad, regularly challenging and then beating established Formula One teams with decades of experience and a phalanx of specialized personnel. Reading the Haas F1
America, yeah.
I'm excited.
Press releases, it's like...
Are they winning this weekend?
I think they are. I think this is the weekend that Haas F1 breaks through for a victory. What do you think? Hamilton party.
I'm not going to bet on it. Sorry.
Hamilton over parties.
All right, Gio, if this was a pick segment, who would you pick in the F1 race?
Yeah.
To win the race?
Yes.
Lewis Hamilton.
You know what?
Final race of the year.
Lewis is not going to close it out like that. He's still got the party hangover. Max is going to win the final race of the year. There you go. Okay. Mad Max.
No, I
think
he's
going to get his stuff together.
No, Vettel's going to win.
Yeah.
Vettel's going to win the deal.
Where's Kimi?
Kemster.
I would like to see Kimi win a race.
Kimi won a race.
Another one. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, I know.
He won at Coda. Anyway, it goes on in 12 of the 20 races. Haas has scored points, etc., and so on. Yas Marina Circuit is a showplace, and it should be considered, it is widely believed to be the most expensive Formula One track ever built, with some estimates topping $1 billion. It is a multi-purpose facility on a man-made island. It is one of the many new Formula One venues designed by Herman Tilke. It is less than a decade old and features a counterclockwise layout that boasts a top speed of 208 miles per hour, an average speed of 121 miles per hour, and has 9 right turns, 12 left turns on a waterfront course that rivals Monaco and Singapore. Its extravagance and uniqueness is best highlighted by these attributes. The pit lane exit passes underneath the circuit via a tunnel in the garage. Okay, whatever. We get it. They've got oil money. They got oil money, man. That's what it is.
That's it.
The way Haas F1 team is set up is unorthodox, at least by Formula One standards. Does the team's continued and increased level of success validate Haas F1 team's approach? This is a question for Gunther Steiner. I wouldn't say our approach is better than other setups, but it seems to be working for us. It's difficult to prove it right or wrong, but we cannot do things the typical way. For sure, it's not hindering us from having good results. Is there a particular moment from this season that stands out to you the most? From the negative side, losing all the points in Australia when we had 2 pit stop failures. The positive would be finishing 4th and 5th in Austria. Yeah, you remember Australia? We were doing great, and then the wheels came off.
Literally.
Yep. And there it is. This has been the Haas F1 report.
Well, they had a couple of announcements over the last few weeks that we haven't been on. They got a title sponsor, I believe.
They got a sponsor. I don't know if it's title. I think it's partial, but they also hired a Fittipaldi to be their test driver.
Correct. Pietro.
Yeah.
Piero or whatever his name is.
Are we sure on the driver lineup for next year?
It's the same.
Grosjean
Okay.
and Magnussen, but they got 2 test drivers that are coming in that are obviously the future.
But yeah, they did. I believe if I read somewhere that Rich Energy, which at first thought when I heard it, I figured it was some oil company in Texas.
Rich Energy?
Yeah, I thought our boy had gotten into oil.
Rich is into oil.
Yeah, Rich. You know, it's good to be rich.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, it's an energy drink.
Oh, an energy
Yeah, so
drink.
it's like, a competition
So
to Red Bull.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
It's like the premium British brand of energy drink. Google it. I'm not making stuff up.
doing it right
I know
now.
I generally just throw stuff out there to see what sticks up on the wall, but this is actual factual based. No fake news here. I'm not the mainstream media. I give you the insider stuff.
Oh, obviously. It is so true. You give us the rake news. All right. I'm not finding it. I went through I searched my my email for all the Haas reports, but I'm going to have to go straight to Haas Rich, R-I-C-H.
Yeah, like
Energy.
Rich.
I missed that report. Here it is. Racer Magazine. Haas due for livery change in 29 with new Rich Energy sponsorship. ESPN.com F1. Let's see.
All right. Joe
Haas
is breaking it to us, finally.
Breaking news.
This is my life
for
story.
October 25th. Listen, I was off in Vegas land. This was part of my 11-day trip into Vegas. Haas Formula One team will change its livery next year to incorporate new title sponsor Rich Energy, the energy drinks company, which
Did
was
they just
linked
call it
to
title sponsor?
Force
Is that what you
India
said?
by
Was that the adjective used to
incorporate
describe?
new title sponsor. Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, you're right. The energy drinks company, which was linked to Force India buyout earlier this year, confirmed on Thursday it will join Haas as a title sponsor in 2019 onwards. The press release announced the team will change its livery from the combination of red, gray, and black used since its arrival in Formula One to the colors of Rich Energy, which are black and gold. New gear, baby.
New gear, baby.
Peter, we need the new gear. I'm kidding. Oh, that's just so terrible. That's so horrible. Oh, my God. Oh.
You've been hanging out with me way too long.
Yes, it is terrible.
How terrible is
But
that?
how cool
Time
is
to hit the clearance tent for the old gear, right?
No way. I think we have the traditional gear.
Because the new gear has to come in and be
no,
worn.
not traditional. You
Classic, traditional,
classic.
original, first gen, man. We're original. We're early adopters of Haas F1. Everybody is going to jump on board with this Rich Energy deal, and we're going to be able to scoff at them like, ha, newbies. Rich Energy markets itself as a premium British energy drinks brand and claims to be available in 30 countries worldwide. It hopes to use a new sponsorship deal with Haas to launch a global marketing campaign and gain a greater market share in the ultra-competitive energy drinks market. And there it is, Rich Energy. But I want to see.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
How about that?
Did you guys see this F3 crash? Sophia Flourish.
Oh, I thought you were about
the
to
surgery. She had that high-speed crash. Did you see that one, Dan?
I briefly
Are
saw
you
it.
ready? Ready to see
Let's
this?
see
I'm
it
going to bring
again.
it up.
This is free jack style for
Yeah.
those of you that catch the reference, and
I
not
don't-
everybody
Hit that
does.
full
apparently.
screen icon.
Watch this. Okay, get ready. Here she comes.
She doesn't make the
Whoa!
Are you kidding me? I saw that one.
turn. I mean, it's a miracle that girl's alive.
Yeah. The throttle hung wide open, obviously.
And she climbed over another car, which caused her.
She went in backwards.
Yeah,
that's the
I
first
think that's
time
what
I
saved
noticed
her
that.
life. Really.
She went up against
Really,
the
yeah.
wall.
So is that
In Macau.
all It's like they were prepared for that. It looks like
you think
there,
that this
right?
is like a catcher's mitt up
Does that
here?
look like guardrail?
Yes,
actually
like
does
that's
to me,
K-rail
too.
right there.
Yes.
I don't know. Here's the other view. That's where she's going to end up.
That said it.
Yeah, you don't have to speak Chinese to be able to know what they're saying.
Yeah, that was just... And so what's this movie you're talking about?
Free Jack.
Free Jack.
Free Jack.
Free
80s, late 80s, Emilio Estevez flick.
I don't know anything
Mick
about
Jagger was like the protagonist or the antagonist. Or
I have never heard of Free Jack.
I even said...
I think I've heard the name, but I don't know the movie.
Rene Russo was like the love interest, and he was a race car driver.
But
Emilio was.
Don't know it. And so what happens? Don't worry, I got it coming.
How can you not know Free Jack?
I don't know Free Jack, man. I don't know it.
1992?
Wow, look at that. Early 90s. You see?
All right, here it is. The 1992 Free Jack trailer from the producer of Alien and Total Recall.
Furlong is about to die.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
it. Yeah, okay.
That's a Free Jack moment.
That's pretty much it.
Immortality is only a heartbeat away. Where money can buy anything.
Wow, dude, that was the Hyperloop. Did you see that? This movie has got everything. That was Elon
That's
Musk's
where
Hyperloop
Musk
right
got
there.
the idea.
What a ripoff.
Consider an alternative body. Sorry to deceive you.
Anthony Hopkins is in it.
Life itself.
Emilio Estevez.
Why don't they just grab somebody who's alive now? Take a look at these people, Alex. They've lived half
that Buster
their lives in
Poindexter?
their ozone layer. Tell me who's behind all this.
I'm sorry.
Mick Jagger.
I can't tell you that.
Alex, don't you remember me?
He died, Jewel. Someone paid to bring him back.
Rene Russo.
Why did you die?
Anthony Hopkins.
Welcome to my mind.
Sir.
Don't resist. Lose your mind, and you can live forever. Free Jack.
Well, that F3 crash was exactly like the crash from Free Jack.
No way.
Gio has nailed it. Gio has nailed it.
It's
Wow.
there.
Wow.
I mean, that was the very first thing that came to mind when I saw that.
How on earth do you have Free Jack ready to come up, but you can't remember anything else on this show? Like, I'll ask you stuff that happened a minute ago, and you won't know, but you got Free Jack ready. Oh, yeah, that's like the scene from Free Jack. Free Jack? What's Free Jack? Oh, yeah, that's that Emilio Estevez movie from 1992 with Mick Jagger and Rene Russo. Remember that? No. What is Free Jack? 1992. And this guy's got it ready. Boom, Free Jack.
Smartest kid in the Down syndrome class.
Yeah, man, that's something. That is something. But, yeah, that crash is serious stuff. Serious stuff. And, you know, what can I say? Obviously, I hope everybody is okay.
She's actually okay, which is the
no,
minor
and
miracle.
she's avoided paralysis or something.
First and foremost, let's start with the fact she's alive.
Yeah.
Okay. And as it turns out, I mean, I don't want to make light of it, but she only broke a vertebrae in her back, and it appears she's actually not paraplegic or quadriplegic at the moment, from what I understand.
Wow. That's something. Here's a story on Planet F1, just to keep the Formula One thing going, that caught my eye. Formula One to replace unattractive races. Remember, we're still trying to get one down here. Dan, you going to come back for the Formula One race?
I thought I was promised a Miami race earlier in the year. What happened?
Well, they're pushing it back to 2020. Formula One are looking at replacing Grand Prix
Miami,
so-called
so they gotta
unattractive
wax the right
agreements.
pockets. Yeah.
The addition of Vietnam to the schedule in 2020 could be the first step to the 25-race calendar, which has been talked about. You got to get over it, man. However, the majority of teams are resisting the idea. Remember, 25 races, with Lewis Hamilton saying that he won't be here for a 25-race schedule.
25 races is too much.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Okay.
Kerry commented that some Formula One events have become stale when he was talking at Liberty Media's investor meeting. Events today are more valuable. We would have world-class premium events. We need to focus on maximizing the value of our events, communicate at our host locations. We are encouraged. The message is getting through to both existing and potential new host cities. And, they need to be in Miami, man. That's what it is. They need to be in Miami.
They want to be here, so they want to be here. Those powers that be want them to be here. And as soon as they know who to, I was going to say write the checks, but who to hand the briefcase full of cash to, everything will get settled.
Yes, it is so true.
What do you mean that's sad?
And in this case, though, I really think that
I'm sorry, you're right. Briefcases full of cash.
It's the homeowners down there, the very wealthy condo owners. They're the ones that don't want it. They're the ones putting the brakes on the deal. They don't want to hear the noise. That's what it is. It's very sad, but a very small group of people are holding this up. Do you guys want to know what the odds are for the Daytona 500 next year? You know who the favorite is to win the Daytona 500 for 2019?
Joey Logano?
Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, both 6-1.
That makes sense.
Harvick, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin are 10-1. Ryan Blaney, 12-1. Kyle Busch, 14-1, along with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Clint Boyer, and Eric Almirola. Eric Jones is 15-1. All right, Elephant Racers, what's your Daytona 500 pick?
I mean, what happened to the guy that won last year? Where's he at?
I don't know. Let's keep going. Kyle Larson, 20-1. Kurt Busch, 20-1. Alex Bowman, the showman, 20-1. Jimmy Johnson, 25-1. Austin Dillon, 25-1.
All right, I'm putting my money on Jamie Mack.
He may or may not even race.
Well, if he races.
And he's not even mentioned right here. He's part of the field.
There you go. That's
all right, but
bet.
what about the Cup Championship? I know you're asking that, right? You want to know.
I'd say
4-1 favorite Kevin Harvick.
So when's the last time we had a repeat winner?
Cup?
Yeah.
Championship?
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson.
2010, right?
9 and 10, yes, correct.
Well,
right.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. You are correct.
Call it a repeat. Call it a 5-peat.
Yes. Yeah,
five-time. Joey Logano's 5-1.
Pentagon of championships.
Kyle Larson 7-1. Chase Elliott 7-1. Brad Keselowski 10-1. Martin Truex Jr. 12-1. Denny Hamlin 14-1. Ryan Blaney 14-1. Eric Jones 14-1. Eric Almirola 15-1. Clint Boyer 18-1. I like that. Clint Boyer could pick it up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson 30-1 to win the championship.
Who's going to be in the 41 car?
Well, we're thinking that it's going to be
Suarez, possibly.
He didn't tell us that yesterday.
If it's not him, then who? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who?
Will they be? Look what Almirola did coming into the 10 this year. So who's going into the 41?
Right.
Seems to be a little bit better car.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I don't know.
And thanks to Bob Smith for sending
I think all those cars are about the same, Dan.
Well, they didn't seem to be before this year. What happened this year?
Right.
There was a change in driver status.
Okay.
But to be fair, I mean, Almirola, I don't think had any worse of a car than Kurt Busch Harvick obviously had a great car.
I don't want to say all the cars are the same because they're not, but
they're relatively
the magic of the team and the communication of the moment and all of that, I think, is what they wanted the sport to be about, and that's what it's about.
But I don't believe that they're going over there and saying, well, the best cars that come out of Stewart Haas are going to Kevin Harvick.
No, I think Kevin Harvick is just the best driver at Stewart Haas.
Okay.
With the most experience and had the most upside from the very beginning right through. Harvick's great stuff. He just came up a little bit short. All right, it is now time for everyone's favorite show within a show as we get down to the wire here on this very special championship edition of WFO Ignition. Hopefully you have subscribed and you've written a review. Dan, have you written a review?
I have written a review.
Really?
I
About
have.
the show, about this podcast and the app and all that, or something else?
I have, and I think it is timed out because whenever I go back to write again, I have issues, but I will fix that again.
Yeah, we got to write a review.
We'll get it again.
You got to write a review.
Yes.
Apparently that's a big thing. You got to write a review.
I've written them in the past, yes.
Yeah, no, I think you have. I've seen a lot of. We've got like 30 reviews up there, and most of them are 5 stars. Just like a couple of this, like two stars. Like they're okay, but not great.
5?
Which is fine.
They're 5 stars?
5 stars.
I'm pretty sure I gave a 5-star.
There it is. Thank you very much. I would imagine. I would hope. All right, time for Sports Collision. Giovanni, first subject.
Well, over the weekend, while we were at the racetrack, there was plenty of college football and NFL action going on. I got to stay up till the wee hours of the morning catching up on all the great NFL action that was going on yesterday. And there was some ugliness and injuries, like always. But the Redskins quarterback, Alex Smith, suffered one of those double leg breaks, kind of like Joe Theismann-like, I would call it, where he broke the tibia and the fibia. Not that I am a doctor or anything, but I did sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, so I'm feeling medically inclined right now. But those of you who have not seen the video, by all means, go out there and search it so that you can see his arm dangling,
watch it.
his leg dangling like, say, if you were to bend your arm at the elbow and then your wrist in the opposite direction.
Like a piece of spaghetti. It was
that's
just
kind of
like...
no. I don't think it was spaghetti. Like I think it was more in the shape of an S.
I recommend
if you really think about
not watching it.
I agree with
and
Dan.
Therefore,
gross.
But you know it's terrible. I feel extremely badly for Alex Smith. But
I can feel
he
the
did
empathy.
have look, while most NFL contracts aren't guaranteed, he did have a very high amount of guaranteed money, so he'll be doing all right for himself. But the coincidence here is that he did happen to break his leg in the same manner as one previously mentioned, Joe Theismann, on the exact same day, 33 years later, November 18th. So just one of those weird things, I guess.
Is crazy.
It really is. I mean, when I saw it, I was kind of freakish, and the first thing that came to mind was, wow, what a coincidence. Washington quarterback breaks his leg in the same manner that Joe Theismann broke his leg. And then someone pointed out on the broadcast that it had been exactly 33 years to the date, which is unbelievable. But no,
SportsCollision.
Best of luck to Alex Smith in his recovery.
Yes, absolutely.
It was devastating. The thing that caught my eyes was the Nolans Saints. I'm sure Bobby and the rest of the fans down there in the Bayou are celebrating because the Saints are the hottest team in the NFL right now. 9-1. They lost the first week to Fitz Magic and those Buccaneers in a shootout, but they are undefeated since. And Drew Brees, he's my MVP to this point. I know a lot of people are pointing at those guys like the two teams that happen to be playing right now, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But everybody's got either Mahomes and some form of the Rams running back, Gurley.
Todd Gurley, yes.
But to me right now, it's Drew Brees. I mean, the man is phenomenal. The Saints, while yes, he does have some weapons, I think he's one of those guys that we've shown that he makes no-name wide receivers stars, and when they move on to other teams, you kind of, they just become guys. And so that, to me, is the mark of a great quarterback. Drew Brees, while he has been vertically challenged his whole career, to me, underrated. Why are we not talking enough or more about the greatness of Drew Brees? I mean, just look at the record books. The man is starting to take over all of them.
I don't know. I think we are. It's the Super Bowl syndrome, man. You got to make the big show.
He's got one.
He's got one, and we did. We talked about him that year.
For one.
Everybody talked about him that year, but you got to go back. Everybody talks about Brady because Brady's there every year practically.
Absolutely, but
that's just what it's all about.
Drew Brees, a little bit underrated in my opinion, and I think people should realize that we've been watching greatness now for a very long time with him.
It's biased against his height.
I guess
that's what it is. I'm just telling you, that's what it is.
He's still not the prototype quarterback.
That's right.
Well,
he's a little
he's
too
definitely
short.
not the prototype.
People don't care about numbers.
Yeah.
They care about height. This guy's not tall enough. He can't do it. Yeah, but look at all these.
No,
it's a thing, man. It's a thing. Trust me.
I disagree. I think
I'm hypersensitive to this stuff.
I think he has given opportunity to a whole number in line of quarterbacks that should have not had any business given an opportunity, but based on the fact that a guy like Drew Brees made it, they were like, oh, yeah, if Drew Brees at 5'11" can play, so could this turd. And it turns out that, no, they just can't. Drew Brees comes along once in a generation, just like the Seattle quarterback.
Yeah, it's sad because we could have had him in Miami. He came here, and our doctor...
No, not good enough for the Dolphins.
Inspected him and said, nah, his shoulder, and we don't know. You don't take him. You want to take Dante Culpepper. And we did, and oops. What are you going to do? What else?
Well, the reality is that if the poor guy had come to Miami, his career would have just fizzled, and we would not know who Drew Brees is. So you know what? Well. It turned out for the better for him and the city of New Orleans, who at the time had later on turned out to be the whole Katrina mess, and he helped with all that.
The return and eliminating of the bags on the heads.
Absolutely,
and all of that.
The Aints, the old school
the
Aints.
Exactly. Okay, what else?
No, just I went and, like I said, after I got home and watched all the post-race NASCAR stuff again, I stayed up till like the wee hours watching every single NFL show. Lamar Jackson makes his NFL debut. He thought he was a running back at first, 27 rushes for over 100 yards, but Baltimore wins. The Steelers, huge comeback against Jacksonville. Finally beat them up a little bit. But the NFL, I think in general, has made a nice comeback this year. Ratings are back up.
Nobody watches that anymore.
All those people that never watched the NFL and swore that they'd be off, I guess they're all back. And the reality is that the NFL's got to figure it out. You know what? Just silence everything else and let the game speak. Because when you legislate the rules for offense like they have over the years, that's the reality. Good offense makes for people watching. Look, right now there's the Rams and the Chiefs are on, and they've scored 76 points.
46-30. We got the game on. Wow. I haven't really been paying too much attention. Wow.
And it's just that simple.
76 points
But
on
the reality is that yesterday, basically all the games, with the exception of the New Orleans games, who they put a whooping on the defending champs Eagles 48-7, have come down to less than one score. And they just got it right. The offenses, in the end, if you just have more and better offense, the team that's got the ball last has got a chance to go down there and get the winning score, and that's what people want to see.
Chicks dig the long ball. That's it. Well, scoring. People like scoring. That's
hey, who doesn't like to score?
People
love
like to score.
People like to score. Right, and that's just as simple as it gets. People like to score. It's working. It's a good formula.
Absolutely. And then that round orange ball, they've been playing that. I saw LeBron scored 51 on the Heat last night.
Yeah.
He becomes one of only the fifth player to score 50 for a team and score 50 against them.
Wow.
That's a stat right there.
Yeah, I don't
there
like
you go.
Like
that is a stat.
How about that? A Geo Nugget.
There you go.
Geo Nugget. Good.
But
good
again,
stat.
I watch highlights, but I'm not watching basketball until 2019.
Let's break down this Yankee trade.
Oh, and I was just about to get to it. The hot stove is warming up. We are in the off-season baseball, and the winter meetings are coming up shortly, and that's when things happen.
Yes.
At the winter meetings.
Well,
But the Yankees have picked up James Paxton, Seattle pitcher, left-handed, hard-throwing lefty. And you got to give something to get something. They gave up their number one prospect. I believe he was 5th or 7th overall, according to Baseball
Sheffield.
America.
Yes.
Justice Sheffield, no relationship to the chef, Gary Sheffield.
No relationship?
No relation.
Wow.
Where are the winter meetings this year?
Dan knows. He's setting you up.
I do not know.
No?
I thought Gio knew
it all.
I
do know, and
Gio knows
it's
everything.
Just,
don't worry.
For some reason, it slipped my mind. I don't know why. Maybe because my mind.
I mean, I thought Gio only.
But what about Free Jack?
New things.
Well, you see,
that's as opposed to short term. Yes,
that's exactly it. This is short term, so I can't remember.
Oh, you just found out about it.
Tell me about Free Jack. What did Emilio Estevez say in Free Jack?
The winter meetings this year are in Vegas at the Mandalay Resort.
Vegas, baby.
Just for the
Vegas, baby. Imagine that.
Absolutely, imagine
and
that.
Mandalay Bay.
That's why I knew. I was like, man, I know where, but it's one of those things. I have a very good memory, just short.
So Joe may be there.
Oh man, I'm now full
no,
Vegas Jedi.
they're coming up. Joe will more than likely be freezing his arse off in Indy right around that time. I'm not sure if it's the exact same week.
He may be going to Vegas.
It's true.
Well, he might fly Vegas, Indy via Vegas.
From Fort Lauderdale to Orlando to Atlanta to Charlotte to Indianapolis to Vegas.
No, don't forget about the Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Vegas,
Right.
Seattle, LAX, Phoenix,
Tacoma.
Vegas, Dallas, Fort Worth.
You might have to see some Northwest Nitro guys and go to Seattle.
There it is. If I got it, that would put me over the top with the segments, by the way, that trip.
But I believe that the Yankees have made a very good trade for Paxton. He's a veteran pitcher. He's 30 years old.
Lowe didn't seem too in on it. He said he was old and got lucky one year. Like, come on.
Why would he be happy that the Yankees picked up a top-quality starter?
Well, happy is one thing, but, I expect he can separate his true, emotions from
I bet
analysis.
he'd think it was a great trade if the Red Sox had picked him up.
I guess.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
but I think it's a good deal. And, yes, they did give up their number one prospect, but in the end, these guys are just prospects. We don't know what they're going to do when they get to the majors.
We'll just get him back once he's good.
Just buy him back next year.
We'll just buy him back. Let them go through the learning curve and then get him back.
else.
That's right.
And that's it.
That's what we have to do.
I am very excited for this baseball offseason winter meetings because I do feel that the Yankees are going to be buyers and spenders in the free agent market. And I just say, why not? We are the New York Yankees. There's only one New York Yankees. There's lots of Cleveland Indians. No offense to you Cleveland folks. And they got under the luxury tax, which is what they wanted to do. If Hank and Hal want to make money, then sell the team and cash out on your $4 or $5 billion. All right? I don't want to hear any more excuses about luxury taxes and annual income or whatever it is, okay? The team that your dad bought for about $8 or $9 million is now worth $4 or $5 billion, all right? Forget about yearly revenue.
Is that a good return on investment?
Oh, it's just slightly good.
That is interesting. Yeah, well, I hope they spend too. But see, the whole thing is they will spend because they had to get under the luxury tax 1 year. That's it.
It was very prohibitive. I mean, they were paying.
They had to.
And how many wins did they have in that year?
100 something.
100 wins this year.
100.
Was it 100 even or
102?
102? 100 even.
No, 100. Houston won 103 and the Red Sox won 108.
Okay, well, there it is.
No, 100 wins. I mean, we had a great season. It just was not as good as the Red Sox.
No, we lost. Exactly. We lost to the team that was the best.
But again,
team in baseball.
You know what?
Those are the breaks.
This is unacceptable as a Yankee fan, and they need to do everything within their power to win. That's it. Second place is just not good enough. What is it? The first loser? Is that what we've concluded around here?
Absolutely.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yep, couldn't have said it better myself.
And you slipped in that George Steinbrenner quote about there's a whole bunch of Cleveland Indians, and I have that, but I can't find it. So,
yeah.
For those of you
well, Big Stein had a lot of great quotes. He said that the only thing more important than winning was breathing, basically. And, I have to breathe.
So true.
But I don't know that Hank and Hal always felt that way, and I get it. Their dad was wealthy. Their dad had a company that made a lot of money. So to him, the only thing that mattered with the Yankees were for fun. They were like going out to the drag strip and having a car and just blowing money down the track every time you go down. It was for winning. It wasn't about turning a dollar and making an investment. It wasn't a business. It was fun. It was to win.
Right.
And these kids don't necessarily look at it that way. And I get it because one of them is an accountant by trade, and you know how
bean
those guys
counter,
are.
Counting the beans. Bean counters.
But again, the way, that touchdown that we saw didn't really count, and the score was only 40-30. So what we saw there didn't happen.
What was the over/under for tonight?
It was 62
I think it's 80.
or 63. So the game is officially over, even though there's still a quarter to go.
They can't take any more points off.
Yeah. But what about the Miami Marlins with their new logo?
Miami Marlins, I don't dislike it. I love the fact that Jeter is getting away from everything they had to do with the abomination of the last however long it's been since the Laurea's owned the team.
He is getting away from everything, which is great. They have changed everything. They got rid of the statue, which, it's still there. They just moved it, which
It's
I think is a nice.
outside.
They split the baby a little bit with that one. They just moved it outside. It's going to go off a bunch of times. They got new jerseys, new logo.
New colors.
New color
scheme. They're going to have that great section out there where that
They're building
statue
a new
was
thing.
for
We're
going to
be there. We're going to be in that section. Like, that's a section that's totally us. Like, that's where we will want to hang. $10, standing room only. Like, that's a ticket I will be getting.
It's not all pay. There's some free section, kind of like the Budweiser bar, where you could just stand around the bar and drink and watch the game from there. But there's going to be three levels. And so the other two levels will be $10 standing room only to watch the game without an actual game ticket. And you can get in and do that. But by the way, why not do that? You pay $10, you don't get an actual seat, but you get to stand in this area and have cocktails and seen and be seen, which is all people care about down here in South Florida anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, there you go. A little bit of everything. I don't know what else is going on. Well, you had something.
Steps in the letters. The 2-2 is hit shortly past the diving Tino and down the right field line. Got to go over the corner. Rounding third is Giambi. Center field fires into Martinez. They go into Giambi. Here's the play at the plate. He is out. Oh, he is out. What a play by Derek Jeter. The ball got past Martinez. The throw from Spencer, and Jeter is backing up. Fielded and backhanded to Posada, who made a swipe tag. That's about as good a play as you'll ever see.
The flip.
The flip play. How amazing is it that I've got the play-by-play of the flip play?
Absolutely.
We got to bring back the Yankee roll call show at some point. Well, that is great stuff.
We should.
Well, we're talking Yankees, we're talking Jeter, we're talking Sports Collision. Well, there you go. That's
you
great
had
stuff.
something, I believe, for Sports Collision.
I don't really remember what it was.
I must have missed out because I didn't write it down.
Let's see. I got Drew Brees. I got John Paxson. I got Alex Smith. I got Elephant Racers. Oh, yeah, Elephant Racers is playing Frolf. That's what I got. Yes, that's it. He's going to give us an intro to...
You're going Summer George on me, huh?
Yes, exactly. Intro to Frolf. Elephant Racers. Not only is he a world traveler who has achieved black diamond platinum level... Black Diamond Platinum level at all things travel.
Sounds like a Kiss song.
But he is also a high level Frolf.
Black
Frolf.
Diamond double platinum.
What is someone who plays Frolf called? Are you a Frolfist?
No,
Are you
we do not call it Frolf. We call it disc golf.
Disc golf.
Frisbee is a trademark name by Whammo.
Oh.
So we're not allowed to use it.
Okay.
So we go disc golf.
Disc golf.
Yeah. And
why not Frolf?
Well,
because it's Frisbee golf.
It's
Frolf.
Frisbee. It's not Frisbee because we don't use Frisbees.
Yeah, but it's not Frisbee.
We're using other companies.
Okay.
And that's the big news of the week. One of the biggest names in disc golf was moved over from one company to another this week. $1 million deal allegedly over 4 years.
All right, so
Paul Macbeth.
You're getting me up to speed a little bit on something that I am, I'm aware of. I know that there's a lot of different disc games. Like I had a friend who played Ultimate Frisbee, which is like a. Do you know about that?
I do. I played that in college.
You played Ultimate Frisbee.
I played
which
Ultimate
is like
Frisbee.
what? It's kind of like football with Frisbee.
It's football with Frisbees.
It's football with Frisbees.
And we did use Frisbees for that, by the way.
Okay.
So
and then there is disc golf, which is the game of golf but with a Frisbee.
Yeah. Although you throw it into baskets, so there's a basket that has chains and it drops into the basket. You have to throw it and it has to land in the basket to count as being similar to ball golf in the hole.
Right. In the hole. And you play this just today.
I played it today.
In
not
Florida,
far from here. Yes.
I said that we have a course around here for this.
There are multiple courses around here for this.
So if you were a golfer, you would have some people use Top Flight and some people use Titleist, and there's all these different names in golf. What about in disc golf?
Disc golf, multiple brands. The two biggest ones are Innova and Discraft, and that's what the
Discraft.
Discraft, yes.
How many discs do you go to the disc golf course with?
So it depends. When you're starting out, you may have one or two. You just carry them around in your hand. Sometimes you'll move up to 3, and then at some point you'll get like a small little duffel bag type object. These are all readily available. Sports stores, Amazon, any place that you would buy.
Like if I go to Dick's Sports and I'm looking for disc golf apparel or gear, they have it?
You can find it there.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So Academy Sports definitely has it. Seen it there, bought it there. Another place that I've seen a lot of it is Play It Again Sports.
Play It Again Sports. That's
So,
like a used sports store.
They will have used and new.
Okay.
As well as carrying apparel for depending on how many you carry with you.
What does a disc golfer wear?
Whatever they feel like.
Like golf clothes? Like regular golf clothes?
No, just, whatever you feel like.
Do
whatever
regular
the weather.
golfers hate? Because these happen on real golf courses. There's just a disc golf
So
section
typically it's in a
special day,
a park setting.
Okay.
There are some ball golf courses that have added disc golf to their courses. So sometimes you're both, playing at the same time, but more often than not, it's a purpose-built in a park setting disc golf course. And there's an app, one of the major apps is called UDisc. You can actually use that. It will locate courses for you. It will keep score. It keeps track of all your scores and all of that good information.
Are you a member of the Professional Disc Golf Association?
Not yet. I have not played in a tournament, but I'm about to get to that level, I think.
What is your disc golf handicap?
It's probably about a 4 or a 5.
Really?
Yeah. In a year and a half of playing, I've got to about that level.
But you're a disc person previously, because you mentioned the Ultimate Frisbee already. So you're like throwing these things on a regular basis.
Again, I played in college, Ultimate, and we also played Frisbee soccer. Probably hadn't heard of that.
No.
But,
I've seen that.
You can think of it. It's pretty similar, except for to score a goal, there's a semicircle around the goal that you can't cross to throw towards
I've seen
the goalie.
them playing that at the park right behind my house, and I didn't realize Frisbee soccer came to mind. I thought it would look more like Frisbee NFL, like football. But the same, now that you mentioned soccer, it makes more sense because it was probably a bunch of
So that was back in
Julios.
college, way back in the dark ages. You know how old I am. I'm much older than you guys. So
How old could you possibly be?
you know,
I'd say he's
it's-
within 10 years of our age.
I agree.
If I had to
It's
guess.
out there. So, it had been 30 years or so, 25, 30 years since I had thrown disc, for sport.
Right.
And picked it up again last April. Been playing, a year and a half plus a little bit now.
So out of
And-
nowhere, after 30 years, you decided
come out of retirement,
to throw the disc.
started throwing the disc. Buddy finally talked me into it. Been beating on me for a long time. I go out and play, and now you get hooked.
The
and-
return
Yes.
of elephant racers
It's back.
to the disc sports.
And within 18 months, I did get my first hole-in-one, 274 feet. It was pretty exciting. It's a good thing to happen.
Why is it whenever I try to throw a Frisbee, it always turns vertical and just rolls on the ground?
Because you need to throw more.
What do you mean I need to throw more? Like
You
I need to
throw more.
practice?
You need to practice.
I have to practice?
Practice.
Practice.
You talking about practice?
Practice.
Practice.
Can't
And that's
just
what it
pick
is.
this game up and be good at it immediately.
It's one of those things. You pick it up, and the first throw I get out after watching guys throw it about 280 to 300 feet, I get out there thinking, hey, I've still got it. And I throw it not even half that far the first time I go out.
Uh-huh. Can you give me a tip, though? Like, is there some sort of a tip? Is it like flip your wrist or hold it this way?
Yeah.
Or
people
like
roll
Andy
the-
Crane Golf has got
Yeah.
some tips for me from real golf. How about disc
so
golf?
People like to roll the wrist too much, whereas if you just kind of hold it stiff and flick it out, it creates the spin that you need to make it go further.
All right. Interesting. Listen, hey, this is great.
If you're doing the backhand throw. Now, on the forehand throw, it's very similar. So some people find the forehand work better for them.
I can't do the forehand throw at all.
All of the big pros throw it backhand, though, for the majority of their throws.
And so who are the big pros? The guy who did the thing, Paul Macbeth?
Paul Macbeth, yes. He is, he won 4 years in a row back in the mid-teens, I think. And he's the one that just made the big move from one company to the other for dollars.
The mid-teens.
Yeah, like
the 20
2012, 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there. Yeah.
No, I like hearing that. That's kind of interesting thing too. The mid-teens. you know.
So,
and what did he sign for?
I think it was a 4-year deal for a little bit over $1 million
With Discraft.
Yes.
There it is. Look at that. He is he's dressed like Ricky Fowler.
He's certainly going to wear the apparel, and he's going to have signature disc, and he's probably going to get a piece of each one of those discs that gets sold.
The disc that he's got in his hand in this picture looks a little smaller than the typical Frisbee that I know about.
So the discs certainly have different shapes. They have, like in ball golf, they have driver discs, they have mid-range, they have putters. So they're all shaped differently. They have different spin rates, different distance that they expect to go, and turn and fade. So when you throw it, it may, turn to the left and then fade back to the right, depending on if you're throwing a backhand or a forehand or left-handed or right-handed. So all of those things are factored in, and they all are quite aware of that when they make that throw.
He won 4 straight world championships from 2012 to 2015.
Yes.
And he just became the 4th player to win multiple USDGC titles, claiming his 2nd this October. He won the last USDGC title in 2015, the same year he completed disc golf first and only Grand Slam. Wow, the Grand Slam.
It's amazing. It's one of those fringe sports that are out there that seem to be growing a little bit. Most courses in your area are free.
What?
So another fantastic reason to bring it on.
Disc golf is free.
Most places, like if you
Did you play for free today?
I did.
What?
Yes.
Over there in Plantation, I can go play disc golf for free.
You can. I think on the weekends they have a little fee for you when you come into the park, but, it's just a park fee, not the actual course fee. But they didn't have it during the week.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's the way most of them are. If you go to a golf course area, some of them have a little bit longer, and they will rent you a golf cart, which you do have to pay for, like ball golf.
You're using a golf cart today?
No.
You walked?
All walking.
Does a disc golfer have a caddy?
They do in the professional ranks. I've seen some of the pro tour stuff, and they do.
That is interesting. Giovanni, what do you think about this disc golf stuff? I played regular golf for the first time in a long time last week, and I was in a tournament, and I felt like I did great, and I was thinking about getting back into golf, but maybe I should just get into disc golf.
Disc golf.
Disc golf.
Hey, if nothing else, it's a walk in the park. It can't hurt you,
Literally.
right?
Well, it's exercise. It's moving
Yes.
around. You're out there with the nature.
There
You were
go.
almost eaten by an alligator or a snake today. I could see you were getting close to the water in Florida. I gave you a
Yes.
stern warning.
You did, and I heeded it very well. And I did throw no disc in the water today.
And what happened? Like, you lose a golf ball when you play golf. You lose the ball all the time. That's a big part of golf. Losing the ball. What happens in disc golf? Do you lose a disc? Do you fish it out of the water?
In disc golf, there are retrievers that if you're good at casting the retriever, you may be able to drag it back in. Some of the discs actually float, so they're a little easier to get. In Florida, I would consider a disc in the water lost.
Uh-huh. Well, at that course you were at today. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we do. In Florida, I noticed this for the very first time. I played golf in California, and there's elevation there. Here, there's none. So what we do is we make up for our lack of elevation with lots of water. That's
Yes.
all we can do here. We put water everywhere, and you lose balls left and right. Whereas out there, there's all kinds of elevation, which was fun. And I liked playing there probably better than I like playing here because I didn't lose very many balls. But, wow, this is very interesting, this whole disc golf thing. So do you have Discraft? Who's your choice of provider?
I don't have any specific provider that I go to now. I just kind of have picked up, playing with friends, seeing discs they throw and trying them out. And, I've got a number of different vendors, if you will, in my bag today.
Disc Golf Pro Tour moves live streaming video coverage in-house. There's live streaming coverage?
There is live streaming coverage.
Do
I have
you
seen
watch
some of that.
disc golf?
Occasionally.
Wow.
If there's no NHRA or NASCAR on, yes.
Is this Paul Macbeth's disc golf bag? Look at that. He's got a bunch of discs. Oh, there it is.
There's one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I have about 14 or 15 discs in my bag right now.
Replacing putters, mid-range fairway driver.
There you go.
What is a putter?
A putter is usually a lot more blunt or rounded on the edges. It does not turn or fade much. You want it to go straight into
And that's
the chains.
for when you're close.
Yes.
You're just putting it in the basket.
Those guys are close when they're much further away than I am.
Okay.
So, they'll sink putts from a good 50, 60 feet away. And the way that they measure their statistics is they have a 10-meter circle and a 20-meter circle. So that's how they kind of measure the putts that go in, inside of 10 or inside of 20 meters.
Ulti-World Disc Golf's predicted Paul Macbeth Discraft bag includes a Jawbreaker Challenger.
They have some fun names for these discs.
A D-Line Banger GT, a Z-Line Wasp, a Z-Line Comet, a Z-Line Undertaker, a Z-Line Predator, a Titanium Mantis, an ESP Vulture, a Z-Line and ESP Forces. Do you have any of these?
I have none of those today.
How many discs do you carry in your disc bag?
About 14 to 15.
You have 14 or 15 discs?
I do. I actually have a few more than that, but that's all that fits in the bag that I have today.
And you brought that bag here to Florida?
No, I brought 2 discs with me to Florida.
Oh, okay. You just kind of threw them in the carry-on.
Yes.
Then you're slumming it a little bit.
Yeah, I brought a mid-range and a putter.
Wow. This is great stuff. I'm learning something here. This is Gio. Don't forget this.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Something to do on your spare time.
No, I would love to do that. I have a great challenge just because I can't throw a Frisbee.
You can. You just have to practice.
I'm terrible.
You can practice. It will work.
Some people throw it and it goes up and it just kind of floats and it comes down. It's a perfect throw.
Oh.
Mine always goes up, vertical.
So the
on
ones
ground,
that go
and it
real
rolls.
far, they go out, they turn, and then they fade back. And they end up, straight where you want them to go. But sometimes you have to go around obstacles like trees. Trees are really the main obstacle.
Have you ever had your disc get caught in a tree?
I have.
And what do? Do you have to fish it out with a stick?
So depending on the tree type, you can either shake the tree and have it come down.
Huh?
You can have a
That makes
buddy
sense.
that can climb the tree and get it down for you.
That's legal? Is there a penalty stroke?
These would typically be a stroke of some sort. And I actually, in Utah one time, was playing on a ski slope that during the summertime, guess what? They turn it into a disc golf course.
Of course.
I had a Frisbee about 40 feet high in a pine tree that I knocked down with a rock. So it came tumbling down and was able to continue on with that.
Look at this. Discraft makes the Chain Star Light pre-release exclusive at Discraft for only $149.
There are a number of different vendors for the baskets as well, yes.
There's a whole economy here.
Who knew?
I didn't know.
Now you know.
Did you know that this was a thing?
No idea.
It is a thing.
That's
I
great.
had never even heard of it.
Discraft is a whole
But
whole
I don't
company.
really play golf either or any.
No,
sorry,
no.
disc golf.
Well, that's the whole thing, disc golf.
And see, you need to have one of those in your backyard so you can practice putting. Because putting, just like ball golf, is where you make your money.
Yeah. Well, drive for show, putt for dough.
There you go.
Everybody
it really
knows
comes
that.
down to the same thing.
That's why I was able to be invited onto the Coca-Cola team because of the rumors of my great putting, which turned out to not be true.
Now, I will say, driving further does give you a little more chance to make those putts. But, it did take a year for me to be able to throw it, a good 300 feet on average from a drive. But, the pros can throw it a lot further than that.
Look at this, and you can get your own custom discs as well.
You can.
Embedded foils, multiple colors.
There's a lot of people that like those specialty discs.
You should get a WFO logo disc.
That is a fantastic idea.
Yeah, we should have them available on the website. Do you think there are other WFO listeners that are into disc golf?
Well, I think we'll find out after the show.
Definitely. What do you think the over-under is? Gio, you're the gambler. Set the over-under. Who will respond? Andy Crane is not going to respond. He probably hates the idea because he's a real golfer.
You never know.
No? I know. I just kind of feel
it's so competitive.
And we don't say
though.
real golfer. We say ball golfer.
Oh.
Andy's a competitive guy, so
well, I think
he was into the EV3 and all that stuff.
My natural impression, and this is what's so cool about this, is that it's totally new to me. Like, I have no idea about it.
And so you go ahead and insult them and calling them fake golfers right away. Of course,
natural thing. It's like we don't call them. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. But it's my natural impression that the ball golfers would have a problem with the disc golfers. Is that true?
I have ball golfed a long time as well, so, I don't have a problem with it. I certainly think that, definitely cut that part out.
I don't have a problem with the ball golfers. I don't have a problem with the ball golfers. They're in the way. Do you get annoyed at the ball golfer?
But so I will say one of the major differences between the two, you can typically play a, long course of disc golf in maximum an hour and a half.
Love that.
Ball golf, you're talking 4 to 5 hours, right? So
this tournament I played the other day,
things.
we hit the course at like 11, and we were done at 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was long, man. It was long. We had fun the whole time. It was big fun. It was great fun. We had great fun, but it was long, slow going.
Right. Now, beverages can be consumed in both sports. So that's another thing to consider. A lot of people like to ask about. So
disc golf.
Like I said, it's another thing.
No,
it's
I'm
something
into
that
it.
you can do, and you can give it a try.
This has been the best part of you being on the show. The disc golf talk.
Golf, man.
Yeah. No, it's very cool. What's this freestyle? Oh, that's something else. You don't do freestyle disc, do you?
That's a new one on me.
Beauty, skill, grace at any age. Freestyle offers good health and plenty of fun. And it's just like bouncing the disc off yourself.
It's looking like the Harlem Globetrotter of disc.
That's exactly right. Disc sports. All right, I'm clicking off of this. That's very interesting, Dan. That's very interesting stuff. And there you go. Wow. We learned something new here on WFO. If you have interest in disc sports, maybe we'll have a WFO disc golf tournament. And Dan will be on my team.
That'll be right after the EV3 tournament.
That is it, which may never happen. Oh, my God. No, that is happening.
Wow.
Burn.
Dan gets you get the show.
I'm not going to mention about six-time champion in EV3.
Yeah, no, well, you were. You've earned it. But I'll tell you what, you and Andy Crane and a couple others.
Andy's a tough guy to go against.
Do you have your car ready to go?
My car is in the shop being worked on
okay,
right
because
now.
listen, I know I've said this before, and I have been known to say things that don't normally happen.
No way.
Yeah, but it is the off season now, and the whole reality changes. Everybody knows that. And I was really genuinely thinking about sending out the email to all the EV3 champions, and I have those emails. It just requires probably an hour of work to create
Be careful what you say. You don't want to upset those guys. You never know.
And in that hour, you could play a disc golf round.
An email about the championship week, because it's going to take a week. Like, hey, everybody, between X date and Y date, we're doing the champion, the one to determine them all. And I was thinking during this holiday break, like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Should I wait till January? Like, what's the right time to do that? I know.
You might need to wait. Yeah, holidays are tough.
After the turn of the year.
Yeah.
It's going to require focus.
A lot of focus.
Like early January is the right time to do that.
Yeah, that would be a tough time to play in most of the country disc golf. So
because,
yes.
Well, see, that's the thing is Andy Crane, he can't golf because it's snowing. And you can't disc golf because it's snowing. So I'm thinking like between January, like 10th and 25th, somewhere in there.
Yeah, you need to find those days when Andy is not out hitting his 1,000 balls a day.
That's definitely January. There it is. All right, so Thanksgiving is this Thursday, and I wish everybody a great Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, Friday, which you may or may not know, is Black Friday.
Black Friday.
And everybody knows I spent a lot of time creating that sound effect, and I got to use it once a year. And so there it is. Black Friday. Maybe I will go online and do some disc golf purchasing.
There you go.
Right. Or maybe I will, buy something for Black Friday.
There are some starter packs, by the way.
I'm sure there are.
Of course.
I'm sure there are. Our WFO sponsors, I don't know if they're going to do Black Friday deals, but I know that they are open for business on Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Good to know that they have stopped the opening on Thanksgiving Day. That was a short-lived exercise. Remember we were talking about that? That was a big thing.
Have they all stopped?
Not all, but the movement forward towards being open on Thanksgiving and like whenever you're having your Thanksgiving dinner is over. And they're kind of pulling back from that. Some people are going to be open, but no more advancing, backing up, which is good. I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a happy Black Friday. I'm going racing this weekend. I don't know what your plans are. What are your plans? What do you do for the Thanksgiving, Dan?
I will be visiting my son this Thanksgiving.
Where is that?
That would be in the Roanoke, Virginia area.
Roanoke, Virginia.
Yes.
And Giovanni, you're going to be where?
Eating turkey at home right here in sunny South Florida.
Turkey and probably some pecan pie. Oh, you know what my favorite is? The wife picks it up at local, small local, what is it, like natural supermarket kind of place, the Norman Brothers. The sweet potato pecan crusted mashed potatoes. Those are probably the best. Oh, wow. Sweet potato.
It's like sweet potato.
Mashed
pecan
potatoes.
on top, mashed potatoes, yeah. Like oven baked, it's delicious.
Sounds good.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we generally around my house, we get the turkey and we get a small piece of the pork leg.
Ah, the lechon.
Yeah.
Right? Is that, did I say
lechon
that correctly?
pernil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And pig out. And then, food-induced coma kind of thing. Watching a lot of football.
What are you what are you thankful for?
Me? What am I thankful for? You put me on the spot, man.
Nailed you.
You did.
I did that out of nowhere. Bang.
I'm grateful for
Serious
Joey
question.
Logano winning the championship and making my son happy this weekend.
Did we get into that sufficiently?
Did we get into
that? Did we get into that sufficiently? Like that was the biggest thing for me too.
Yeah,
for me too.
best
The great
day ever for
was
my son.
little nephew. Dan, you saw the whole thing.
I saw
it was his first Ford Championship Ford EcoBoost 400.
It was his first Cup race.
Yes,
Yeah,
but that's
he's
the
been
thing.
to the truck race and the
qualifying.
Qualifying
He
in the
never
Xfinity or whatever they call it race for 3 or 4 years.
Never
now.
saw Joey Logano race.
Correct. But
And-
since we're generally working on Sundays, a madhouse of sold out. Didn't want to be hanging around there with a small child. But he's 8 now. And he's a little,
So you decided to bring him. He
he's
came.
slightly more obedient.
Mrs. Giovanni came. He got to watch his driver in the championship 4.
He did. He got to watch us working, and he saw what it is we do.
He wore
his Joey Logano
his
shirt.
Joey Logano shirt, which you got on sale, which is fantastic.
I had to wash every day after the race.
It seemed like the same shirt every day.
Yeah, I know. Somebody was throwing a load of laundry every night.
Every night. He wanted to wear the shirt every night. I witnessed it.
And his mom did not want to partake in doing the laundry, and me being the great father that I am.
None of that had to be said.
No, we could call a spade on this show. His mom refused to do the laundry for the child.
I'm not
going
there.
And his father came through and went out there and threw a load in the laundry so that his child can be happy, because that's the thing that fathers do for their kids.
Oh, it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. And the kid...
Screw you, Mom!
...watches Joey Logano go out there and win the championship. He wins the championship in front of the kid. And the kid is like so thrilled. And so then I say to the kid, I'm like, you know what? He wanted, after it was all said and done, he wanted Joey Logano's autograph, which is impossible.
You're not going to.
Well, the whole weekend
right?
he had been asking how can we get Joey Logano's autograph, and we're like, this could be tough because the drivers aren't normally around on Sunday, especially.
So Joey Logano wins the championship.
Correct.
And at that point, I thought...
And at that point, are we on a quest to get an autograph?
Well, I was telling him, I was like, Gray.
Well, we wanted to prepare him
for the
fact that this wasn't.
We're not going to let him know that.
No, I told him.
But we're on a quest, right?
But yeah, deep down inside, we were going to do what we could.
And I know the routine there. And so I was like, I know the routine there. And after the hat dance and all the stuff on the stage, they eventually bring the drivers to the media center. So it's like, all right, we go to the media center. There's always people camped out at the media center, and you never know. That's all I said. You never know. And so we're there and hanging at the media center, and that's where we ran into William, the former lawn guy. What's up, William? And we ran into a bunch of people. Neil Gulkis, who is the PR director there. He and we took a picture in Mean Mug Josh Friedman from 790 locally. Did you see the tweet where I Mean Mugged him?
I did.
That was a good Mean Mug, right?
That was funny.
And Friedman apologized. He's like, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't make it. I got sick. Whatever. Friedman.
That was a good pick.
It was good. We were like, come on, man. Nice seeing you at the race.
And thank you, Homestead, for the tickets, by the way. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Homestead Miami Speedway. Hopefully,
our listeners appreciate you very much.
Oh, man, so many of them.
Yes.
And next thing you know, so we go in the media center area and we're hanging, and then it's like, okay, here he is. There's Joey. Go get him. And sure enough, Gray goes up, and Joey, the only thing is that Joey was doing an interview or he was on a call. I don't know what it was, but he was on the phone, and he came in and he signed, a couple of little boys were there, and he signed Gray's shirt right on him. And
actually, I think you even witnessed.
It's documented, right?
Yeah,
it's on
Instagram. Yes.
Yeah. Did you guys notice at the end after the Gray, the security guard on duty snuck in his hat to get an autograph too? He was the last one they signed.
You got to rat that guy out too.
Yeah,
huh?
well, I just did. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Well, anybody who saw the video would see what happened.
I didn't notice that part of it.
What do you mean?
I saw you in the background.
You did see me in the background.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Everybody.
No, it was a great
I
video.
stick out like a sore thumb,
Joey was very nice. I think he's going to be a good champion. He's got a lot of little kid fans. It's good for the sport. Probably the best story. Like of all those others, Truex was the best story last year. Joey Logano, best story for champion. And the Gray guy.
I genuinely believe it is.
So on this given day, the Gray, he wins a little raffle in the fan zone.
Yeah,
whatever.
Thing.
Need not to speak
Get into that.
These kind of things. His driver wins the championship, and then he gets to see him do a burnout. He sees him get out of the car from pit road from the track, and then he gets to walk over and get signed by the person.
Absolutely.
What a day for an 8-year-old.
All downhill from here.
Yeah, no, I'm screwed.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. But,
Dad.
A kid peaked at 8.
How are you going to top that?
Oh, I'm not.
How are you going to top that? That's impossible.
Hey. Life.
See what happened when I was 13. I was in the winner's circle with Don Campanello and Pro Stock at the Gator Nationals, 1986, right? And that one
was that the peak, Joe?
Yeah.
Look at you now.
All downhill from there. Totally.
But it led to you being a Hall of Famer.
It did.
So maybe one day this kid will be in some sort of Hall of Fame.
No, you know what I actually noticed? I actually noticed I want to call it an awakening in that he like, like interested in stuff. Interested. Like at some point, the little child who is just kind of childlike.
Yeah, careful.
Childlike becomes interested in things. The only thing is, I hope, Joey Logano, I'm listening to that press conference today, and he keeps talking about how when he was a kid, all he talked about was being a Cup champion.
Yeah.
You heard that?
Since he was 6 years old, all he wanted to do was be a race car
Let's hope your kid doesn't want to become a Cup champion.
Absolutely not. I can't afford that.
You do not have the means.
Getting the Bandolero and
absolutely right.
Yeah.
We do Little League like 5 days a week.
What about plasma?
Like a TV?
No, like you sell your plasma and you can buy them a go-kart.
Sell enough of it.
All right, we're done now. Dan, thank you very much for coming by the show. Did you have a good time?
It was fantastic.
All right. You did a really good job, by the way.
And look at this. Putting together 2.5+ hour extravaganza.
This is the extravaganza.
These are the best shows that are 2.5 hours.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, this guy.
Okay, so this is coming out before NHRA Nitro.
It's Monday.
Right. NHRA Nitro, we will have the new voice of NHRA on Fox, Brian Loans.
Wow, look at that.
On the show,
getting it right away, getting the new
voice of NHRA.
Well, no, the new face.
New face. New face.
I guess
new voice.
The
play-by-play announcer.
Wow.
Fox Television, yes.
You didn't see the news?
You saw the news. Dan. Get out of here. Brian Loans going to be on NHRA Nitro.
You know what? Loans is a go-getter, and Brian, I hate the Red Sox. And I hate your Boston ties, but
to attack.
Very happy for you.
Always attack. No,
I'm
super happy.
You know what? I think Tom Brady is a football god.
Yeah, you do. You do. What if he doesn't like it? What if he doesn't like the way I do it? Watch Ted 2. You'll get it. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Dan did great. Dan, thank you very much for the gentleman jacket. We'll stay in the studio. Gio and I will kill it the next time.
Well, I thought we were about to kill it right now.
Thank you for coming out to the race and taking us up. Together. All you other people who refused to accept the free tickets, big mistake. Congratulations to Lowe's Chingones. Good job, Lowe. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, thank you for being in our league. Craig and Newhall, excellent work. I don't even know who you are if you listen to the show. But
reach out, Craig. If you do listen, please
Craig.
Reach out somehow.
Come on, Craig.
Make your presence be felt.
Do it. And excellent work. Congratulations to Joey Logano. And thank you to everybody. We met in the fan zone, like Ken and Mrs. Ken and Michael and everybody that's involved. Good times. Great fun. WFO.
The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
Bye, bye, bye.
It ain't cool being no jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.